This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
Hyper Viper.
All right, welcome to Open Comms. It's Friday, and we're back. Last show of the year. We got me here, Raiden's here, Brisk, you're here, LB's back. How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. And Iron Wolf, you are here, and how's it going? And then Sword Dragon is joining us as well.
Hey.
How's it going? Summer down in the down
Sword
under.
is melting very slowly.
I'll
in
trade you.
Australia.
But yeah, so last show of the year, we're gonna do some various stuff, kind of cover like a review thing, and then we'll be probably talking about that. What?
We're going to discuss highlights. We're not going to do a year in review.
We're gonna do the
we
whole
a
year
year
in
in
review.
Why do you
I
do
know,
year in
because
reviews?
it's all like methodical and
Let's
shit. I just
vote.
want to be like,
Let's
what was your
vote.
favorite thing of 2018? And then we all just talk about random shit.
How are we going to fill 2 hours with that? Dirk's not here to talk over us.
Well, it looks like you're going to start drinking and rambling.
I mean,
Okay.
he can ramble without drinking.
If we do highlights of
All
the
right.
year, is that not a recap of the year?
No,
X
because,
in
like-
stream chat if you want a year in review, so Rain has to deal with it.
Oh, no.
I call year in review.
The
we need to do a vote. Can we do
but-
like a poll thing?
Yeah,
Or
then,
you got
um,
a poll thing, right?
well,
I,
I
wanna do a
mean,
poll.
just do executive decision or something. But
LB's the only
No,
X
it-
wins.
Got one
there's a bunch
See,
of
the whole
titans.
thing
That's
is
fine.
to do a
LB's
year
all I
in
need.
review and then go. So, what was your favorite part of that?
Where'd you
No,
come
we're
from?
not going to do
Where'd
that.
you
Yeah,
come
that sounds
from?
better.
What,
sounds better.
What was that? I heard something.
Somebody said we can't do a year in review because Dirk's not here. So fuck it. Yeah, it
It's
is.
the ghost of Christmas past.
Thought you
He
were dead. I
survived.
followed you on Twitter and everything.
I know.
I mean, that can't be Dirk. He said he wasn't coming back. He was done. He was ghosting us. He was.
I've been doing some stuff. I had some things going on, and it's like I'm just sort of here to. I'm sort of here to like talk about my GoFundMe and some things that can help me out, and
Gotta
We have to
I
pay
mean,
for Dirk's next surgery.
Are you able to do a shot with a neck brace?
I don't know. I've like
We could try
my head
one.
is kind of like put in place. I might just dribble it all over myself.
that's well.
Tilt your whole body
Now we
back
gotta-
and drink it?
Sumi just subscribed. Where'd you get $5,
All right.
Chi?
I really need to like take this fucking thing off. It's like messing with my freaking headphones and shit. Ah, god damn, that was actually hurting my neck.
The yeah. So Dirk retired for a week.
I told
He's
you.
off
he
base.
was
I am
an
still
entire
technically retired, but I
week.
played more Eve in the last few days. So I kind
You
of
said you're gonna quit
I kind of
Eve?
felt this fucking urge.
Oh, is
Drayden,
that?
you realize that it took you longer to make his going away video than he was actually doing?
I know. I put a
My
lot
wife
of
was like, "Ah,
I put a lot of time into that thing. It's like a memorial video.
No, I'm still, just put it out there. I'm still not back on like any kind of regular basis or anything like that. I'm literally still in the tailing off part of trying to fucking win. I'm like limping into the fucking finish line.
It's
as
not
it's
gonna
happening.
happen.
No,
You should
dude.
just
If
stop
you
being
didn't,
in
if you
denial.
didn't cut it off, you're in for
hold on,
life, bro.
hold on.
No.
I am. Honestly,
He's
I
gonna
am,
have
because
to
it was
go
like,
to-
I literally, the reason why I played so much in the last couple days is because I was fucking jumping all my shit from Delve to Lone Trek. So it was like I've been like hours and hours and countless fucking hours.
Why are you
in the
going to
game.
Lone Trek, Dirk? What's in Lone Trek?
Because that's just where my like historical home base of shit is, and that's just where I like to keep things and get it resorted for whatever the future might bring. And so like I just bring everything back there. I consolidate it. I still have fleet ships and doctrine ships and whatnot from every alliance I've ever fucking been in there, and then I just seem to buy new ones, and then like I come back and I just put them like I should probably like. I wish I had like different hangars where it was like, this year's hangar and that year's hangar and that year's hangar.
So I keep my fleet ships and I give it to Secret Santas. That's what you do with mine. Just see you later.
We're gonna have to get you a list
Is that what
of
you guys did?
Eve's Anonymous.
I'm still waiting for Dirk to
List or
give me all
something.
his stuff, and
No.
it hasn't happened yet. This is
Dude,
upsetting to me.
Dude, I woke up the next fucking morning and went, I did give away my Aeon last night, right? I had a lot.
Yeah, we didn't give away the Naglfar. Like we started the drawing and then we just ran to the end of the show. We closed the show. We never gave it away.
Since I didn't give it away, I just what the fuck did I do? I just threw some fucking fuel in it and like flew it to the north, whatever. Yeah, it was just like fuck it. I'll throw it next to the other Naglfar that I've got sitting there, or the other 3, or whatever the
I think
fuck.
I got a
yeah.
Naglfar down in 1DQ as well. Naglfar
But
and
yeah,
Archon.
so- Whatever. Yeah, I'm not back. I'm not saying I won't show up. I'm just saying that I'm not fucking back. I'm gonna Anyways, yeah. But if you want to give to my GoFundMe,
He's
Oh, Jesus.
completely
I
done
called
for
it-
this year, except for the New
I
Year's
called
thing
it
we're
build
doing.
the wall.
Well, that's what Buckshot is.
There you go.
He's like, good to
Build
see
the
Dirk
wall
has taken
around
some
Dirk so
time
he
off
can't log
trolling
in.
Trump on Twitter to come onto Open Comms.
Build the wall.
It's true.
Hashtag between me and Eve.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I think I got most of my news over the last week from reading Dirk's tweets.
I just see a Dirk tweet. I'm like, what's? Oh, it's like just from the vitriol you see. It's like that's got to be a response to a Trump tweet. Let me go see what Trump was saying.
But anyways, just to give everybody a quick update on the surgery. Obviously went really fine. It was on the 19th, so just before Christmas. I was literally I was out of the recovery room, but I was in kind of the waiting room before I went to my regular room, already tweeting and shit like that. Surgery went really fucking well. I was in a really
Clearly,
nice
he
fucking
did
hospital.
not die.
I did not die. I have a small incision right here on the front of my throat, about 2 inches long. Doing
Yo, that's
really
gonna make,
fucking
like, a-
well.
Small incision.
That's gonna
It's
be
like
a
half your
super
neck.
neat scar. You can say someone like shanked you in the
I'm
throat.
gonna say somebody fucking shanked
Yeah.
me. Exactly.
Be like, yeah,
I just
remember Vegas
said
2015?
Mrs. McGurk got sick of his shit finally and just pinned him down and fucking
There you
shanked
go.
him.
When I was in prison, I
Finally-
stole some
finally
guy's
stabbed me in
pack
the
of
throat.
cigarettes.
Mrs. McGurk finally stabbed me in the fucking throat.
Yeah,
But yeah. But no, it
You
went
won't
really
think you
well.
had that coming.
I was up and walking around immediately. I was up until like I had. Let's see here. I went into the hospital at 10:30 that morning. Surgery began around 12:30 or something like that.
First tweet, 12:45.
I was in my room for the night by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was up until 3:30 in the morning. Like I was just walking. I was just walking all over. I was like I just wanted to walk, and I was out there like talking to the nurses and like it was a good fucking time. I gotta be honest. Like I really had a super fucking positive hospitalization experience. So I was pretty happy with that.
Dunk,
Like it was
Dunk
like,
is
like
asked-
I actually didn't want to leave the hospital. They had like fucking room service. The nurses and everything were like
yeah, we got
completely
the
cool.
the full rundown
Yeah.
of the entire menu from the hospital.
Yeah.
Dunk is asking who's going to Toronto. Are you guys going to Toronto, Dirk?
Yeah.
Rain is I think
I am.
Elby's
Planning on
Elby's
it.
really close, so he might.
It's just down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, Dirk and I are not.
I'm like a 5.5 hour drive. There's a part of me that
Oh, that's not far.
I don't
I'd
know,
take it.
That's
not
super
that I'm gonna
short.
go to Eve Fan Fest Toronto, but I may go to Toronto like around the same time.
That's the same distance I am.
Dirk, if you're going, make sure you get a hotel away from the city center because you're not going to get down there because Pride's going on, so there's going to be absolutely no parking.
I got connections with fucking Pride. I can
I
get. a
bet
fucking
Dirk could work his
I'm
way
just
into
saying
one of
they're
their
I can
shutting-
rings.
find a
they're
room
shutting
at a
down,
Pride.
like,
The Vegas
22 city
connection.
blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Vegas connections to Pride, so it's like you know what? I can sit there and like get. Believe me, I can get in a room.
Yeah, you'll find the one guy with the rainbow turban that was at the pool. He'll be out
Exactly.
there.
I will say, walking around Vegas in a suit, crossing the Gay Pride Parade to get to the Goons event, that was very interesting. I got a lot of weird looks from people, but not bad ones. They were kind of like, who is this Republican walking around the Gay Pride Parade?
What gave it away? Did you have a suit on?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was when we went to, what you call it? The
Only
fucking
Republicans
street
wear
place.
suits.
Yeah.
It's the red tie, man. It's always the red tie.
Exactly.
Being an old white guy, I gave it
Correct.
away.
In a suit.
That's true. That's the tie. Yeah, I mean, I want to do oh, you took the neck thing off. We were gonna see if you could do a shot with that on.
No, I'm not gonna fucking waste it.
It probably would halfway get wasted. But
But you know what? It's been a really weird. It's been a really weird kind of week because number one, I was doing a lot of this fucking moving around stuff, which honestly, I really enjoy the logistics side of Eve. I just really fucking do. I always have, like, whether it be like, helping out my corp or just my own shit and like, plotting out Sino routes and, where my Sinos are and, all that kind of shit. I have a really good fucking time doing that. But also, oddly enough, found out this week that a co-worker of McGurk Jr.'s has been playing Eve for about 4 months. Actually started back in 2016 when the whole alpha thing kicked off. Quit about a week later. But I guess she said something to him a few months ago or something when she was working about her father playing Eve or whatever. And he went and back and took a look, and he's been playing for, I guess, for like the last 4 months or whatever. And, so like when she told me about this, I don't know, maybe a few days ago or whatever, I'm like, oh, does he need anything? And I guess he's in HiSec or whatever, and he's with an active corp and alliance in HiSec. And I said, well, does he need anything? And she comes back, he needs a freighter. I go, oh, I'm like, of course he does. I'm like, what kind? I'm like, what kind? And she's like texting me an OBLISK.
He needs an obelisk.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm like, oh, guess what? I just happen to have a few of those. So it was like, I threw him an obelisk. I threw him a couple skill injectors. I threw him, I don't know, like 5 billion ISK, and then like 2 months or a month of game time for each of his accounts or whatever. Because I have never known anybody outside of Eve that played Eve that I hadn't already met in Eve. Like, no, like even wearing all of the Eve swag that I do just around, like, like it was a fucking Timberland t-shirt or, a fucking Nike sweatpants or whatever. It's like, like nobody has ever gone, oh my God, dude, you play Eve? So it was like to actually stumble across somebody and to stumble across somebody new that I could like fucking help out. It was like,
speaking about, stumbling upon people, I got a shout out to my boy Lavaris, who's in the chat. He and I used to play Star Wars Galaxies like 15 years ago. And then we did a guild, and after the server kind of went to shit together. So I'm excited to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I think outside of the Eve meets, Anduin Spartan's the only person I've seen that plays Eve that I've seen outside, like in real life. That's it. Although my sister, the bank she used to work
like
at,
you knew him, like.
Well, I met him at
like you just didn't know him.
Well, I knew him before because I met him at Eve Vegas last year.
Okay.
And then, but he used
I'm talking about like running into somebody.
Oh, just running into a random person?
In,
no.
Civilian land, and then finding out that they also play Eve.
Oh no,
that's never happened to me before.
Well, that happens to me all the time. Especially, it's weird how many Virginia politicos are Eve players. Like every once in a while, I randomly come across some
Eve a political game? No.
I know, right?
I know, right?
I'm gonna do a shot to how I won Eve while I was under anesthesia.
For 15 minutes.
You didn't win. You didn't win. You're here.
To get him away.
No, you're here and you logged in yesterday or whatever it was.
When they made me count back from 100.
It's like
99.
And now I'm limping back again towards.
It's you're like you just logged in yesterday, so.
When you got to 70, did you just keep
I think like tomorrow you can have your like 1 day chip, I think, and then
I get my 1 day chip tomorrow. Which isn't even true because I've got like some things I got to do, but yeah, like it takes a lot to like reconsolidate your shit and then go, okay, look, everything's fine, right? Well, and I've been doing that whole fucking login for 13 days crap so that I can get the fucking final reward of being able to inject my own skill points back into myself. I hope you guys like took advantage of that in like some way.
I've been really bad, dude.
I have been going nuts. Like the number of random skills that I've been wanting to train that I just never got around to, or something always gets put above it. I finally got Fleet Commander 5. I'm finally going to have all of my boosting skills maxed out. It's going to be great.
Fleet Commander 5. It's very important these days. You should think how you got that.
You can tell that I did win for a while because I'm not sure exactly what Dunk is talking about. Can you discuss the Matterall fiasco? What was that?
Well, here's the Matterall fiasco. The Matterall fiasco was when the boosters were announced. Matterall did the math and assumed that because of the amount of SP you could get, that they were going to be super expensive. So he was putting buy orders up for 500 mil for these boosters. And as of this morning in Gita, they were selling for 44 million.
And getting fed.
Wow.
Yeah, so he got hosed on these boosters. Pretty bad.
Matterall's really bad at market-related stuff. It's like
Why didn't you talk to Aerith?
I love the guy, but like he's really bad at market-related stuff. Like really bad.
Well, I don't know. You should have talked to Aerith because it makes sense to me. But look, doing the math, you would think that a skill injector, getting able to use 150 million skill points, that would have more value than like 44 million. But I guess not everybody's taking advantage of it. I've been time clocking this and waking up at 2 a.m. to do my skills because I'm not going to miss.
Oh, so you're fucking you're min-maxing even the cooldown on this.
Absolutely, I extracted biology. Absolutely, so I get to the 16 hours because I mean, look, this is like 30 million potential skill points for my character that's got 120 skill point, 120 million already. So I'm already up to like 137. Yeah. So I mean, why not?
See, both of my mains are north of 200 million at this point, so it's like really hard to sit there and justify it for them. However, I was taking advantage of it from the standpoint of I've got a couple that I want to take from being kind of the super carrier pilots that they are now into Titanland, and so I've been doing it as a combination of I'm not going to completely drill it in there. I had 18 injectors of my own sitting around. So I had 2 of these boosters that I got from the 2 active accounts 2 Omega accounts that I had going. And then I went out and I bought 4 more, between like, I don't know, 55 million and 43 million, I guess was the low price of the last one I bought. In fact, I bought the last one that I had, because I was going to split the last 3 injectors I had, 2 to Dirk and 1 to my other main, just to have a cushion of like 2 million skill points on them each. It was but you're only doing 1 injector on this guy. Right. And I'm like, so fucking what? It's 43 million for the freaking booster that I just bought.
Right, exactly. And plus, I mean, the skill injector market has gone crazy. When I bought 40 skill injectors.
All these people are knocking out all of the injectors that are out there.
Right. So I bought like 40 when they made the announcement about the booster, and I think I bought them at 750 mil each. And this morning they were like at 890. So I mean, people are making a ton of money off the skill injector stuff, just not off the booster. So Matterall, he bought the wrong stuff.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The common denominator demand item here would have been skill injectors, right? Either you owned them yourself and therefore didn't need to go to the market, or you had to go to the market for those things. These things here were the free part, and on top of that, they have an expiration date. So you have got a bunch of supply out there that is fighting for, please, please, please buy me before this shit is no longer any good anymore.
That's true. The time,
which is granted is January 6th, I think. But that is that's the piece where it's like these are not going to be the item that goes up in value. These are the things that are going to be the item that goes down in value. Whereas skill injectors, generally they are going to hold whatever their price was sort of well before this, right?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I think it'll go back down pretty slowly. So, I mean, at least for the short term, the skill point farmers are going to be making a ton of money, which is nice. I wish I could do that. Every time I've tried to create a character to do like skill point farming, it's always ended up turning into a Faxalt. Like I've done that 3 times.
What people have to understand, anytime Matterall talks about things about the market, we can all role play things in this game, and we can try to be the things that we're not. One thing that Matterall is not is a capitalist. He is not somebody who understands things about, I don't know, like free markets and, like those are just bad things that bad people do and whatnot. So like, don't take market advice from Matterall. Take idea advice. Matterall was kind of at the leading edge of like putting it out there going, hey, everybody should take advantage of these free things that they're giving out, and like stockpiling skill points on high SP characters and things like that. Absolutely correct, right? But not market advice.
Well, so the boosters though, like you had to buy the booster, or not the boosters you got, but you had to buy the injectors though, right?
Yeah. Right.
That's why injectors have gone up so much in the past month, because people were predicting the market. So obviously with these free boosters that everyone gets on their accounts, assuming they logged in, then also the injectors are going to go up, assuming people aren't extracting their own.
Now, what will be funny here in the whole injectors have gone up thing, right? is like today listening to Bard Ghost, okay, who's talking about the fact that oh yeah, injectors now, they're this kind of profitability for fucking farmers. Well, yes, I totally fucking hope that all of the podunk farmers get into the fucking mass farmer game once again out there, because of this spike that is induced by this recent thing that's going to expire. It is a short-term event, right? But they're going to get into it for the next 30 days. Well, guess what? The next 30 days after this isn't necessarily going to be all that profitable. Like right now, right now is when the new price is getting put in for injectors themselves. It doesn't mean that the 30 days after that will be. So by the time everybody rushes in to farm their next set of fucking skill points and all that, it's probably going to fall off.
But that's the point. At that point, once the supply gets back up to where it was before, then the price is going to start dropping again. I mean, like 750 is about the the balance point, and I think the good thing for the skill point farmers is they've been dealing with the fact that 750 is barely breaking even for the longest amount of time, and now they're finally making some money. So good for those guys.
Did you know that if you mine your own skill points, that they're free?
Really?
It's like if you mine your own minerals to make a ship, they're free.
Free ship.
Ship's essentially free. Yeah.
Skill points are actually freer than if you go out, because like you have to actually go out and sit in a belt and shit like that. And like,
well, also there's the taxes to use the assembly lines, and
time doesn't exist if all you're doing is sitting in a station.
Taxes.
But, there's so many like mining's a different animal in all of itself. But, yeah.
However, we should get to year in review.
Rain's favorite.
Let's start with January.
Rain put on her glasses.
We should do all months with Jay first.
That's it. Well, wouldn't you go alphabetical and start with August?
We could do that. Oh my god, that would be
just start.
You guys
that would be the open comms version of whatever Talking in Stations did.
Okay, August. What was your favorite thing that happened in August?
I don't know. Let me check the notes.
August.
I gotta scroll to August.
Yeah, I was gonna say like man.
My favorite thing was the Alliance tournament. Hello, like there was the whole.
That started in July.
Doesn't matter. The finals were in August, and I had to go to the UK in August. That was actually one of my like top things of the year too for me, like personal accomplishments.
That is pretty exciting that you got to go to London.
Oh,
it was a lot of fun.
The GMs moved some botting.
Yeah,
well, a personal accomplishment of doing the Alliance tournament.
It's a girl over there, so they're like, "Hey, Ray, do you want to come to London?"
No, they did not need a girl. They had plenty of chicks there. I was just a commentator analysis. The others were doing backstage stuff. Like one girl was handling stats. Some of them were handling like the TV stuff, the production stuff.
Yeah, but you were front of camera talent. That's impressive.
On camera talent.
Yeah, but no, I was actually
hot girls of Eve.
Pretty proud of myself for being able to be prepared and practiced and just show up to one of those things and handle it. Especially because like the finals were done. I want to say like live. It was all live, but it was live as in we had a live audience. So it was also like we were in the room and we had to be able to like kind of be on the ball with that. So it was pretty fun.
How many people were there watching?
There were at least 20. People came and went. So there was a group from Brave. There was the Amamake police guys. I'm trying to remember. There are a couple other guys. Like the one guy from Tri, one of the pilots from Tri, actually flew in the tournament that day, and then he had to like rush over to the meetup. So that was pretty neat.
So how about we do this? Why don't we go each month and we can all talk about what we think the biggest deal of that month was.
You mean in Eve or to that specific person?
Well, in Eve, but we can talk about specific stuff.
I'm gonna be honest. And please, tell me, Dirk, you know what? You fucking retired. Like, please just take a step back for a second.
Yeah, shut up, Dirk.
When I was putting in some of the early stuff here, it was like I said to Rain today, there were a number of things that happened earlier in the year and things like that actually became kind of common threads that sort of rolled through the rest of the year. 2018 has a lot of common threads in it. So, so it's like, I just don't want to pick out of January because when I wrote up January today, by the way, motherfuckers, okay? On a Friday, when I fucking roll in here as a, hey, by the way, I might drop by tonight. Oh, shit, do they have any fucking show notes? I know they were talking about doing a 2018 year in review, and I walk in and see last week's fucking show notes. Yes, I'm
to be honest
with you, Dre's been doing them at like half an hour before the show. He's like, all right, guys.
No, last week's I had them. I did last week's on Thursday.
I started working on this at 7 o'clock, so there you go.
It's all working out, though, right?
Totally working out.
Yeah.
That's how we would do it normally. I just would come home and fill them out.
We'll do it live.
Now I keep them up
right,
here.
Stop. Okay. I do want to go to, kind of look one of the first main things that happened on January 1st of last year when Solar Fleet got fucking dumpstered by Fraternity. That was a big thing that would have knock-on effects throughout the course of kind of, the next 4 to 5 months of the year, right? I mean, what was going on out there in the drone regions really made a major shift out there.
Was this before Fraternity was part of, what was it, Wonder Coalition or whatever?
Yeah, it was way before that. Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is what started the whole downfall of the DRF and the DCU and everything was when Solar got fucked up.
Wow, you know what? One thing we don't have on here right now, and somebody put out in the fucking Twitch channel.
What?
What month was the mousepad discussion?
That was
Jesus.
Well, that was
last year.
No, it was January.
That was 2018 Vegas, because it was before FanFest when they had the FanFest.
It was January, February, because I was going through these old articles.
FanFest mouse, player-driven mousepad thing or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, it was before. Okay, I thought it was last.
Yeah, I was because when I was looking through the old INN articles, kind of like what Dirk was doing. I saw the article for that mousepad thing, and I think it was in January, February, but that was probably the article announcing that it was coming up. So when they actually did the mousepad thing, I think it was like March or April.
It did not fucking tweak with me at all until he just wrote that out there, and now I am totally laughing about how big my mousepad is.
I think one of the funniest things
I remember, I remember we were talking about that, and what was it? You, Dirk? That was just like, can we please stop fucking talking about mouse?
No, because Dirk made the comment, and he goes, "These mouse pads are tiny, only 7.5 inches." So I'm like, 7.5 inches is small, and I like gave a smirk, and then like DC picked up on it first, so DC was like jumping in too, like, well, how big is too big, or how big is big enough, Dirk, and like jumping in with like dick puns and shit.
And then people are pulling out their like 3-foot-long fucking mouse pads.
Like,
it's like what is that? Like, is that like a ream of mouse pad that just like feeds off? That like once it gets a little dirty, you go give me another 6 inches.
It's like that paper at the doctor's office.
See, now we're doing it all over again.
Well, I mean, hey,
it was the best because
year in review.
Because half the time people didn't realize we were talking about mouse pads,
like,
or that we were.
I think everyone knew what we were talking about after a little bit.
Mouse pad. I've got shit all over all edges of it except for the last part that I'm using.
Dirk,
2019, I'm gonna get a new fucking mouse pad.
Dirk's got poop dick mouse pad.
Oh, God. Anyways, January 1st was big for like, being, and by the way, that was like 500 billion ISK worth of fucking capitals and super capitals that Solar Fleet lost out there at that time. That was a really kind of, momentous moment for something that was already going on out in the drone regions, but again, would have bigger ramifications later on. The next day, January 2nd, is when we found out that Sumo Digital was buying the Newcastle studios of CCP. Another thread that would go on throughout the year.
Yep. Bye-bye Valkyrie.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, because that was pretty much the point where Valkyrie, because they were pimping Valkyrie for like the whole previous year. It was like this big thing,
was great.
Yeah.
doing it, and then like that happened, and then after that, just kind of like Valkyrie disappeared off the face of the earth.
It sucks because Valkyrie was a fun game, and I liked it a lot, and it was one of the only
still
games
a fun
that
game,
made.
Isn't it? Can't you still play it?
You can still play it. They're just not supporting it. I mean, they're not doing any updates or anything. It's just in like maintenance mode.
No, I think Sumo actually. Oh, I don't know if they're releasing new stuff, but yeah, they're definitely like maintaining it.
Yeah, it's maintained. It's not going away. I mean, look, honestly, if you look at it, it's one of the only games for Rift that doesn't suck. I mean, Rift games for the most part are not that great, but Valkyrie was like
what's
the best
that one? The like music thing, the something Saber.
Beat Saber.
They got Beat Saber.
Really good.
I've never played it, but it looks interesting. I played
one that PewDiePie always plays, the medieval stabby in the knee ones. What's that?
Did you do a shot?
No, I just spit a little.
Oh. Do you want to do a shot?
Like it just sort of like came out.
It's nasty.
Well, old men spit,
But carrying on to how common themes fucking carry out through the year. January 15th through the 24th.
Dirk, you're doing a year in review. We don't want to do a year in review.
There's something about that though that should be.
We're using how January was a bookend for the year because it's like the first month of the year.
So what Dirk should say is that the most important thing that happened in January was 9.
Well, we can bust the year in review out.
There's something for that though.
45 minutes.
That's the first time that ProGod shit talked his way onto mainstream media to talk about it.
Correct.
$1 million battle.
That is true.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
multiple
That
things
was
that are going
this
on
year?
here.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
got
that was
Siege of the
this year.
Pandemic Horde, Keepstar, and 9TAC4 RP2.
Right, that's what I was saying. When you look back on all the stuff that's happened in 2018, it's ridiculous. Like this year was so full of stuff, and it's to the point where 9TAC4, I didn't even remember it until I went back. Well, oh my god, that was in January. It's crazy.
I remember like that was so hyped up and like everyone was so excited, and then the fight never happened because like the.
I was
server
seeing
shit.
that from a
Dragon
hotel in
Gibbs
Didn't
Vancouver.
Krogan-
Krogod go on
Imperium
BBC
show.
cosplaying as Brisk Raval at that time?
But
There
you
you
had
go.
a couple of things. Even before you had the idea of the $1 million battle, right? Number one, okay, you had 2 armor reinforcement timers in that, 2 fucking shield attacks on that, because the first armor reinforcement failed on that, right? So it, like they, had to go back again that night and reinforce the shield 4 hours later, or whatever the fuck it was, and then set up another one, okay? And then you had the whole. It's going to be the $1 million battle onto the Canadian Broadcasting Company's financial news network, okay? With comb-backed hair, fucking, pro god legend.
Didn't he
and
have
all
like
that
a
kind of
suit
shit.
jacket on too?
Oh,
like...
he's fucking decked out. He's like, "This is my time.
Right.
This is my
I
time."
put link in the bottom of TS that
He was
that has
he
his
was
thing.
cosplaying me before I was a thing.
But
But
that
again-
was like that happened during like the first timer that they did actually happened during the summit, and we were all there. And then the actual $1 million battle one happened, and I was in a hotel in Vancouver on the way home from the summit, FCing from my hotel room.
Did you actually see that this was going down on the Canadian Broadcasting Company's channel?
No,
Oh, okay. But
Why
yeah,
would he be
so
watching Canadian TV?
I have to
I
be
was in
honest.
Vancouver. I was in Vancouver on my laptop FCing.
One of the
So,
nice
yeah, he was doing
things
his
about
job.
reviewing a year, right, is seeing when these things happened. If I had asked you, when did the $1 million fucking battle happen? When would you have said?
I would have actually-
said
I-
last
I would've
year?
said it
I would've said
hasn't
BTEC
happened.
Or would you have said,
It
like, I
hasn't
don't know, maybe
happened.
June?
It's never
Well,
gonna happen.
because the $1 million battle, I would have remembered that it was the thing that that we were talking about there. But God, just
When
blanked
would
his
you have
name.
said it was, though?
Pro God Legend. Jesus, I was trying to think of Pro God. No, I knew it was the thing that Pro God because he had the whole thing there. But I would have guessed. I didn't think it was this far back. I was thinking this was like in March or something, maybe April.
Exactly. I thought it was much
Right.
more closely related to the other big battles that we'll talk about later
But
in the year.
but that's the thing. When you think about the number of big battles there were this year, it's just batshit. And January was like 9TAC4 wasn't even really a fight. We didn't even do anything. We just logged in and got a Guinness Book of World Records for just sitting there.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even a real fight.
I think it should have been like it's destroyed. Oh, that is awful.
The thing is with It's Destroyed though, the value of ISK has changed. So like if you think BTEC-R, ISK
Right.
was a lot more valuable then compared to now.
Yeah, but the way they
Completely.
convert this is through Plex, and the value the worth of Plex goes up as ISK inflates too. So
Yeah.
the
Also,
amount of
they're
the
never gonna
dollar
have-
amount
But
of
the-
ISK is probably generally similar. I think.
You're simply not going to ever have a battle worth $1 million because, like, for example, Titans, because mineral prices right now are going down in cost. You won't be able to kill enough Titans before downtime.
I mean,
Right,
you'd have
that's
to have 6,000 Molochs on grid to hit.
Right.
You know,
So like
$1 million.
he was calling this the $1 million battle because $1 million worth of assets were brought, right? Not like
Potentially. I think
Right.
the thought
Potentially,
was
yeah.
But even then,
The
it's
news
not-
article,
it's not
like
gonna
he
happen.
was going for the $1 million worth of shit going to be on the field fighting each other. Shit was going to be blown up.
it was like
That's what he was going
BTEC-R.
for.
BTEC-R was a $300,000 battle, right? And,
Yeah.
and Pro God was like, hey, there's this chance of like $1 million or whatever. Like he was hyping it up and exaggerating, obviously.
Yeah.
But it got him
And it
all that
worked.
attention. But at the same time, so he pointed that out, and then I think we have later on in the show notes, I made the comment of how many Titans died between like UALX and what was it, X-47 and all these other fights later on in the
Right.
year. And
Exactly.
technically more shit died than in BTEC-R, but the value was
Way
less.
more shit died in
Hold on,
BTEC-R,
hold on.
but the value was a ton more.
Yes, died.
The effect of BTEC-R
but
was more
fielded.
influential though than
I don't
Well,
believe he
fielded
was
too.
talking about died, things that died.
Oh,
I
he
think he
meant
was
things
talking
fielded?
about the shit that was fielded at the fucking time. And
But
the
even
potential
then-
for death as well, okay? But what we know is that that particular battle did not work out that way. It was, at that time, the largest, like, total bunch of fucking minions in space kind of fucking battle in EVE history as of that point. But yeah, obviously no fucking, like, significant deaths occurred because...
right. It was like the
Because
one of
why?
the- it was huge, but the tethering. No one died because everyone was all tethered up.
Well,
That-
that was
which
part of the
one?
strategy.
What are you talking about?
Well, it was
final-
also because
the
somebody
final
could
game.
jump in
9TAC4.
because we were all sitting on loading screens.
It pretty much shit the bed, too.
Yeah.
Well,
the server. The server died early, but
like people were committing to a fight, and then the server.
Yeah, I'm like the server took a shit, but like the tethering just caused a lot less, destruction action.
I mean, and it wasn't just the server. I mean, it was all the server. It was the in game. It was the login servers were fucked up. Everything was bad.
Well, 9Tech4 also wasn't done by Titans. Like both sides, only half the Titans jumped in from one side, and that was just to kill battleships.
And that was absolutely one of the things, again, Rain, when I talk about the threads that pull throughout the year and the fact that, you know what, there are a number of things here that happened. So in this particular case here, what I think the greater community learned was you got to stop this trebuchet, this tree bucket bullshit. Okay, if you're going to bring all this fucking shit into a system and like dog down the system to the point where it absolutely fucking chokes. Now, we've had other choke moments throughout this year, and that is another thread that carries on throughout the year. But this is where it really began, like where the real actual fucking gag moment started.
And since that fight was worthless, let's not talk about it anymore.
I mean, so if you're the one last thing is that fight actually taught people how to kill the keep stars for the rest of the year.
Well,
yes,
sort of.
Absolutely. Well, certainly
until we
certainly for those that had the fucking firepower to do it. Okay, but the last thing in January. Okay, and again, January, another thread that will go on throughout the course of the year that actually means something. The Upwell 2.0 proposed changes were announced. Okay, this is another one that was talked about for a few weeks on end, and that was the other thing I meant to talk about, Rain, about things being talked about for a few weeks on end. When the Upwell 2.0 changes first came out, was there not something about the whole fucking like super fucking boosh thing that was going to be added to stuff that like had to get kiboshed out there?
They were adding
the
GTFO module being added to fucking Citadels or some bullshit at first.
Yeah, people got mad at that.
Isn't that the one they were
and they were gonna go ahead
extended the range so that
they were gonna add the Busher, and they were also gonna add it that you had a 15-minute fitting timer on the online.
Oh yeah. But was that the one they adjusted the
range? They extended
about
the range
sitting
as well.
at max range because Titans were sitting at max range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, so there you go. January, over. February.
Not doing
PL
a
starts taking
review.
Providence.
Stop. No, we're not. I'm going to delete all
can
this.
get
the only one.
No, Rain, we can get through this.
Kick Rain.
We can get through this and still have like 45 minutes to talk about the fight.
We don't want to talk about all. Did you just
I mean,
copy
if
that?
Rain just be quiet and stop complaining about it, we'd probably
we could just like zoom through.
Shut up.
Well, yeah, we could zoom through it, but I mean,
hold on, because again, this is one that will come back in a few minutes. PL's campaign in Provi begins.
Which
February,
is great. I mean,
early February. I say February 3rd, but early February.
That right there was like the start of Test becoming superpower number 3.
Becoming a man, like
that was
stepping up from boy status into manhood. They got the snip, and they're like, now I must go to war. No,
I got the what?
But it started. It started.
No, exactly.
With PL deciding to go take Providence.
But okay. I'll
well, hold on. It happened about a month later, actually, that they actually like dicked up and moved in. But PL began their. PL had, I believe, at that time, around February 3rd, something like sovereignty over 7 systems in Providence. It was something that they were using as part of a longer-term thing that probably went over the previous year of they were going down there to get fights without their super capital fleet and all that kind of shit behind them, right? But then this is where they began to make a push on more systems, and there was a fucking slew of systems that fell in the immediate kind of thing that PL pushed out there, right? Like, and what we began to know at the time was, oh, apparently, and this is February of 2018, apparently faction Fortizars are coming soon,
right?
Or like the whole thing, right? Like, because it was like, why did they pick now to like begin their initiative?
We knew faction Fortizars were coming.
No, we didn't. It didn't get fucking announced until a few lines down.
No, CCP have been talking about it for
I think
ever. Everyone
yes,
they
have, not the timing.
They didn't miss the timing, but they were saying that it was coming fairly soon, and so PL that's the whole reason. Because I remember when PL started this campaign, we talked about it. Like, this is why PL's doing it, because they want to get the Russians, so when those faction Fortizars come out, they get all of Providence regions.
So at that time, I was in test, so like we didn't know the date. PL came down, started taking them, they pretty much had all of Providence's citadels at that point that they could take after the change. It wasn't until, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks before the change was coming that Legacy decided to go in and take them all from PL right when they finished taking all of them.
They hedged their bets too early. PL hedged their bets too early.
All right. Well, they came in. Doom Chinchilla kind of said some shit, joking around, and it just lit the fire under Pro God and Billy's ass, and the next thing you know, we were in Provi. I mean,
so for my ignorance, when did Legacy actually form?
Legacy is like
a couple years.
It's kind of Legacy. A couple years ago.
Legacy.
Because I did not hear tests referred to as like Legacy Coalition until like
it's because
Legacy. Are you talking about Imperial Legacy, which we'll get to later in the year?
I mean, so Test has always operated on its own. Legacy and Test is part of Legacy, but Legacy usually forms its own fleet. Now that includes the Impasse dudes, and I think now it's Amencia Impasse. So, they form their own fleet. Usually Test can field 200 dudes. So
Legacy was formed when Test moved south.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
So that was, I want to say, January of the year before.
Okay.
But however, when this PL thing began down there, okay, a lot of us on this show and elsewhere, okay, sat there and said, "Oh look, the fucking the push has begun. The gold rush. Remember the old fucking Jin Tan gold rush that he says he came up with, kind of thing." We're like, and now it begins, right? And now it began. It was like the only place that it was apparently beginning in, and there was apparently going to be no sort of defense against it, where anybody else was going to come in and contest PL from taking the most high density space in the game as far as stations that would become faction fortizars were, right? Like, that's what everybody was thinking at the time. But yet, later in the show notes, if Rain lets us get there, we'll find out how that changed.
I'm deleting this.
No, you're not.
Do you want to know more?
However, 2 days later, another fucking big thing happened out there. And it was a big thing in the grand scheme of not like super big things, but like generally fucking big things. The Tri-Keepstar.
Well, the funny thing is that...
was destroyed by DRF Legacy and Horde.
But this is the funny thing. In February, that Keepstar blowing up was a huge deal. Now...
there weren't many before that, right?
We killed like 15 Keepstars this year. Nobody gives a shit
this year, yes, but not in February.
Was like,
go back to February.
A big deal. That's what I'm saying.
Put yourself in a February mindset, Brits.
It's just funny that you think about, in the span of a year, we went from, wow, that's a huge fight, massive deal, look, Tri lost their Keepstar, to, oh, well, somebody lost a Keepstar, nobody cares.
Well, that was the first Keepstar that was defended and killed.
That is absolutely fucking true.
Correct. That's the point. It's just funny how in a year we can go from this is a huge deal to nobody cares.
These are things that will fucking stand up to all until no shit, they just fucking fall. But yeah, so right. And that was actually a big fucking deal. It was covered live by fucking INN and
right.
People out there and shit like that. Okay, this was a big deal, not only because like it was again like a defended Keepstar that you could actually cover live as opposed to like anything else, but because it was also Tri, who at that time out in the fucking drones, out in those areas out there, they were a force to be reckoned with. And here was, whoa, how is this going to go down?
Right, they were coming off of 2017 when they were talking in stations tied within it for being the Alliance of the Year.
Yeah.
So this was like a big deal that these guys weren't able to hold on to that. And it started the downtrend in Tri for the rest of 2018.
We should go back. We're just going to skip back here just for a second because, remember, it was only in January. It was only
you're going to give Rain a fucking heart attack now.
It was only in January that the Horde Keepstar in 9 TAC 4 RP2 was defended, and the Frenchmen were allowed to pick it up and move it off to wherever they went. But less than a month later, Horde abandons Fade and Pure Blind and heads to Geminate. They're like, fuck it. We out this bitch.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, Looney Fucker, for 20
Hope these
donations.
fans come and say hi to us on the stream. Very nice.
Who?
That felt like a big thing.
Oh.
who's the little
My kid's in
redhead?
bed already.
It's
Baby LB.
It's LeBlanc Jr.
Baby LB's brother.
LeBlanc. Oh, brother.
Where is McGurk Jr. at, Dirk? Is she back at school or is she still home?
Oh, she's not back in fucking school. What do you think? She's taking winter classes like an upstanding individual? No.
I'm just wondering.
They even offer winter classes?
Yes, they offer winter classes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I could live with you for a whole week. I would probably want to get back to school.
But let's see here. Yeah, so Horde abandoned their shit. That left a gaping hole out there. Actually, since we have the Dragon of Sorts on here tonight, tell us what filled that gap when Horde pulled out of there and went to Gemini.
Was it me? Sorry, I had to unplug my headset.
Oh yeah, yes. The question is to you, but the answer also may have been you.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it was
filled the hole.
What filled the gap when Horde pulled out of Fade and Pureblind and went to Geminate after they were able to pick up their French Keepstar?
It was us for a little bit, and then CO2 offered to come over and live there as well, so they picked it up.
That is true. CO2 moved in. Which, I gotta tell you, made the Mittani go, you know what? I'm not sure we want to fight up there anymore. Actually, it did not say that at all.
It was the exact opposite, actually.
However, 2 days later,
Let's go.
2 days later, after it was announced that Horde was going off to Geminate, Structures 2.0 was released. By the way, Structures 2.0 proposed changes was released in the middle of that 9-TAC-4 fucking fight. Do you guys remember that? You know, when it was like, here we are in the middle of what might be the biggest fucking Keepstar fight to ever happen in EVE Online and Capitals and all this kind of shit, the North, the South, all this kind of stuff. And like, they released, because that was at the end of the Winter Summit, if I recall. You know, that all happened. But here, that got pushed out there. The whole thing, low power structures. Do you guys remember EVE before there was low power structures?
Yeah, there's just citadels everywhere. I mean, there's still citadels everywhere.
Right. It still kind of is a boring. Can we go to like more fun stuff?
Yeah, like
and
March.
talk about
We're gonna get there,
shitty structure too.
There's only
Can someone
Bullshit.
feed
This
her
is
a
super
BL
bullshit.
win so she'll be quiet?
Rain.
You want to hear BL win? How about
Rain.
March when Elo comes back?
I was just saying, like, that's what she's been edging
How
for.
about
There you
that,
go.
Iron Wolf?
March is the best
I'm
month
just
of the year,
saying.
'cause
I know
that's
you'll
when
be
Black
happy
Lady's
if you
usually
get a BL feed for like at least 10 minutes.
But no, that was I think that was the biggest thing that actually happened in March. Oh, the chat changes.
Well, I mean, the chat.
Oh, yeah,
the jump
that's not a
fatigue
good thing,
changes were
though.
Probably the
Those
biggest
are
thing.
well, I mean, the only reason it's worth noting, like, I think if nothing had gone wrong, we wouldn't even remember that. But stuff has gone wrong and has continued to go wrong, so that's why people care.
I mean,
The jump
Right.
fatigue
wrong this
changes were
morning?
the biggest thing from March, completely.
Yeah,
Well,
but then
jump
fatigue.
fatigue. Look, sort was right. Jump fatigue was the biggest change in March, and that
That was
a huge
also the
deal.
hack changes as well, which is why Elo came back.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
mutants.
Oh, the
were-
mutants.
Mutants were great again.
Mutants. Get that fourth mid slot.
Man, the more I think about it, the jump fatigue changes. That was that was so great. I mean, the amount of stuff we have been able to do the rest of the year, I think.
I'm gonna be
The
honest.
vast
I'm gonna
majority
be
of
honest.
big
Over the
fights
course of
came
the
off the
last
jump
few
fatigue
days, when I
changes.
was moving all my fucking capitals and shit like that, on two accounts, all my capitals, fucking north from Delve to Lone Trek, I really wish the old fatigue changes like were still there. No, I really fucking don't.
What?
Holy shit!
Fucking masochist.
Holy
So he
Christ.
needs to take another Oxy.
And that is one of the things that I think is I said it at the fucking time. I'll say it now after actually having lived through it. The in between time, not the fucking combat. The combat is the thing where you're sitting there sweating and you're waiting and you're having to do shit and whatnot. But you know what? The ability to do stuff in between time, whether it be from Jump Freighter on up to fucking everything. Okay, the ability to just do the in-between kind of stuff and not have fucked up your whole EVE experience. This was a perfect fucking balance.
And for those, so like for someone like me, I only started flying capitals after the jump fatigue changes, but I remember it was literally like 5 days at max fatigue. Like you could not
it was
take
30
another.
days.
Yeah,
Was it,
when they
was
first
it
came out.
30?
30,
Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
outrageous.
it was
That's
30.
absolutely
Yeah,
outrageous.
well, that's the cooldown time or the
blue
fatigue
timer?
timer, but the actual like
Blue
if you
timer
maxed
was
it out, I think it was like 12 or 13 days for the actual
7
7.
days.
Okay, yeah, so it's 7 days that you couldn't jump your capital at all.
Yeah,
Like,
which
if you
was
max out.
absolute.
By the way,
like,
I
that's
wanna say
absolute
this.
It's
garbage.
terrible.
I want to say this from again, having to have done this across 4 capitals. Okay, 4 capitals, each with 4 pilots. Okay, across 2 accounts. So the other two characters on each of those, right, were the fucking Cynos. This, when I say it was the perfect balance, it was because those other 2 guys being Cynos, I could fly off to the next fucking destination, okay? And while shit ticked down and everybody who just fucking jumped and I got fucking ready at the next fucking destination, boom, it was time to fucking jump again. Even if I was still, dealing with, 5 hours of fucking fatigue and whatever the, 27 minutes of timer was in between those things.
I remember
this
the old
was
days.
A perfect fuck. This was
a
as
great
close
fix.
to a perfect fucking balance as I think they've ever reached in EVE Online.
And the best part is that they did it all on their own because we had nothing to do with it, which was nice.
See,
don't
need
just went
the
over the
players
CSM's head.
Don't need the CSM. They can just figure that shit out.
I'm sorry, the CSM had a pretty big change.
I'm not talking about CSM. I'm talking about the players.
Nobody
could agree on what to do with jump fatigue.
You need to clarify, Risk. Okay.
Yeah, what did you say? Us, we didn't have an effect on the devs. I just assumed CSM. So.
I wasn't on the CSM back then.
Yeah, but it's still your people.
I give Sword all the credit for the jump fatigue changes, though. It's all him.
Good job,
Sword.
Big shenanigans in March.
Yeah,
so
okay.
April.
We already got the ELO thing coming back.
ELO was a big deal. I have a serious question.
I held out till April. I didn't join Black Legion.
I can't wait. Can we get a shot for this question?
No, I have a serious question because I am. It's hard for me to tell how people care or don't care about specific things because some people bitch and some people don't. Do you guys really care about the chats bug at all?
I never cared about the
like for me,
I don't give a shit.
Are you talking about the bubble?
For
like
me,
the bubble thing?
A lot of people use it as intel, but like for me with like so living out of Amamake, like Amamake local is like Amamake itself. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, Amamake police," or people in Amamake, like you bond with each other through local chat or you shit talk in local chat. And a lot of like faction warfare is like that. It's not a
But you can still do that even if you don't know who's in there, right?
No, sometimes it's completely broken.
It doesn't. It just swallows the messages.
Yeah. So like you can't see, people can't. It's
like,
like
and
it's
it just
like,
keeps
like
reloading and reloading and reloading
so it's
and
not
reloading.
Like a wormhole where you can't just see chat. It's chat literally just doesn't work. So like if I log in and I'm like, okay, I'm not really feeling like playing today, but I want to chat with my friends. Some of my private chats are broken. Local's broken. Sometimes corp or alliance chat can be broken. So it's like, what's like. People use EVE as a social game, so what's the point if you don't even have your in-game social stuff?
I think I've
That's the thing that's weird because it's like for me, I do most of my socializing either in Discord or
Discord,
comms. So
well, think about it
Most
yesterday.
of my socializing in bed, so it's like
I'm not doing
it's got
stuff
a low bandwidth kind
chatting
of thing.
Like chatting
but
in game, 99% of my chatting in game is while I'm flying around, people saying hi. But I mean, to me, I always thought the biggest complaints about the chat server it was all about intel, and I could give a shit because they just changed that anyway.
So to give you an idea about what happened yesterday, for example, is that the chat server was broken and I was trying to link fits to people in Corp, but you couldn't because the chat server was fucked and it was swallowing everything you put into Corp.
Agreed. It was
all right.
I was in a wormhole and local was acting like it was in regular space.
But it also comes down to consistency from CCP as well. If CCP wants to get rid of like local and shit like that, just say it. Stop fucking like.
No, I agree.
I know, dude.
I'd be fine if they did that.
But if they come out and say it, what are you gonna say?
I don't give a fuck.
That's what you're gonna say? I don't give a fuck. Brisk, what are you gonna say?
I would absolutely be in favor of getting rid of local.
You would be in favor of getting rid of local. I want voters out there to know that one guy doesn't give a shit and the other one would absolutely be in favor of it.
I campaigned on this. Look. Here's what I would, in a perfect world, what I would like to see is high sec and low sec, no change. You can use local as an intel tool. Null sec, if you want instant local, it needs to be an iHub upgrade tied to the ADMs,
I'd be cool with
and
that.
it can be disrupted.
Okay,
I'd be okay with that.
Risk, I want to thank you for your detailed response on that. Sorticus, I want to say your fucking non-detailed fuck it response.
DGF, motherfucker.
That was a very Aerith talking about wormholes response. I liked it.
No, I was just saying I want local, but I actually with Brisk's idea, I'd be fine with that too.
Brisk coming up with something that I came up with 3 fucking years ago.
I know exactly. I invented this idea.
Well, whoever came up with
Brisk, he's a new guy.
But I would be okay with it. I think that would have a negative impact over a positive one. So.
I mean, I'd be okay with it being whether it had to be an iHub upgrade or like some new. What's the new like the flex structure?
But the point
it could be a flex
design.
structure.
Brisk is the Oksana Ocasio-Cortez fucking of the CSM, isn't he?
Right.
The point
Just
is
saying
like
what people want to fucking hear.
the point is the inconsistency right now. Is that if they want to make that design change, sure, but otherwise just fix the fucking chat server.
And it's not just, and for this instance, it's not just local either. Like, nobody wants to have a completely destroyed Alliance chat or your private chats.
Right. I mean, if it's just local,
like
I don't care. But if it's everything else, that's a problem.
I came up with some shit years ago. The SBUs should shut down all communication inside a solar system. Period.
But it's also been like super, like if you've been in Jita with your Jita
what's
ults,
an
for
SBU?
example.
Sorry. What?
That's an old.
SBUs
I'm
are
just
these
kidding,
old
I'm
antiquated
kidding.
things that like you used to like. Never mind. Whatever.
But you can't, like, for example, if you've got a Jita ult and you want to do anything in Alliance chat or any chat that was like systematic, like Corp chat or Alliance chat, for the last 2 weeks you've not been able to. And the shitty thing is you've heard literally nothing from CCP.
Right.
There's nothing said whatsoever. I've mentioned it multiple times to CCP, and they've literally said nothing.
So
I think we bring it up every Friday.
Reel it back a second. January 18th, Upwell 2.0 structure.
Are you
proposed
serious,
changes.
Dirk? We don't care.
He's going
Stop
back.
You're
It's
just
we're
ruining
in March.
It
now,
wasn't
Dirk.
January?
You missed it. You missed it.
We are
we're in March.
June. We're in June.
No, we're not. We haven't
You are
done
gone
April or
for
May.
5 minutes.
You can't be skipping months.
We're in
Yeah,
April.
I wasn't that far fucking away, and I had my fucking headphones
Look,
on. I
you
know we're
got-
not in fucking June.
You got FanFest in April, which was a big
Wait,
deal.
hold on.
You
I
got the
have got to go
DCU
back to
disbanding in
March. I gotta
April,
pull
which
shit
was a
back to
big
March.
deal.
I'm sorry.
Let's wind it back.
Dirk, we
I'm
all talked
pulling
about March.
legitimate
March is Women's Month. I had to talk about it. You don't
Dirk,
get an opinion.
Dirk wants to make fun of
That's
Matt.
sex.
That's what he wants
Look,
to do.
March 9th is when it happened, people. Go back there, circle your fucking calendar from last year if you hadn't already done it before. March 9th is when Matterall paid a ransom and invoked the Matani's name and still died to snuff on a fake Freeport. March 9th, he said, I'm Matterall. I work closely with the Matani. A little while later, he goes, you've been told who I am. The response was, I don't give a fuck.
Was that you, Sword? Was that you?
And that was the beginning. No, it wasn't
What?
fucking Sword. That was
No, it
the
wasn't me.
beginning of the fucking I know Matterall meme.
Pretty sure it
You know,
was
now,
Snuff,
I
wasn't
will
it?
say this.
And
I
some
love
of the threads
Matterall.
carries
He's like,
on
I don't
throughout
give
the year.
I love Matterall, but the funny thing is, the last like 3 weeks, the wormhole guys have got it in their head that I'm completely self-important and think I'm a huge, big deal, which obviously
You're kind
I'm
of a
not.
Matterall, but like you don't have the same popularity he does.
But the thing is, I have never, ever, ever said, "Don't you know who I am?" to try
Not
to get
yet.
out of getting
Yeah.
killed.
Hold on, Britt,
That's
you
Dirk's
only
line.
came on
Said that.
you only came on the scene about 8 months before this point, so it's like maybe a year
There you
ago
go.
now. Okay, like I'm gonna give you another 8 months before you finally pull a. Do you not know who the fuck
I am never going to say that. I am
I think
never.
There's only
gonna
ever
You were
say
been
never gonna
two
say that,
people.
but you're gonna do something out there at some point. And be like, do you
I think
not
Briss
know,
says it, but he
do
doesn't have the
you
mic
not
button
know
down.
Who I am?
I think on next year's year in review, we're gonna have to do a Brisker ball. You know,
There-
There's
there
gonna
you
be
go.
a
You know
moment,
what?
Briss, the moment comes for everyone. It's just
But
does.
it's not. I just don't
Have
think
you
that
done
way.
that, Dirk?
Dirk does it all the
Believe me.
time. Don't you know I am?
Every-
I'm fucking
I
on
don't
Dirk
do it- I
fucking
do it-
McGurk.
like, I do it more as
I'm
a
trying
joke.
to think if I've done it.
When you lean that
I
guy's
wanna
head
say-
over by the back of the fucking neck and
I
go,
don't know.
"Bitch, do you know who I am?"
No, like I said,
Yes.
I think
I don't think
Briss
I've
does
done
it.
it
He
yet.
just
I
doesn't
haven't
have the
got
mic
there.
button
No,
down.
if I have.
We've all done it.
I mean, maybe
I
I've
usually
done
do
it.
I'm trying to
Joke,
remember the
I haven't
specific
done it.
circumstance where I was
However,
like being a complete cunt.
March
about it.
9th.
But I will
March
say the important
9th,
thing is that
2018. Circle it on your fucking calendars. That's when it all
a day
went
that
down.
will live in
That's
infamy.
the day a meme was born.
Seriously.
I will say this: if Brisk asks to know your location, you need to click allow.
But it wasn't just a meme. It wasn't just a meme because again, it came up in fucking angle. Early April is when he began the whole fucking Sanctuaries Keepstar thing.
Well,
right?
that was the funny thing because then that ended up like blowing up in his face like less than 3 months later.
Less than 3
So that
months
was
later,
great.
the whole Sanctuaries Keepstar thing was, you know what? We're not going to allow people out there to have fucking fake Fortizars. We're going to build Keepstars because they won't go to the Keepstar level and power to the people. And we're going to let people docket this shit. And oh shit, oh my God, goons are like going to blow up my fucking Keepstar.
Help.
Help.
And now that keeps
And who
resides
helped?
in perimeter.
And
Okay,
who
can we
helped?
talk about FanFest now?
No one.
No.
Brain, tell us some
Goons
behind
ran
the scenes
fucking
fan
defense
fest
fleet
stories.
for his fucking Keepstar in on NN, allowed him to get that shit the fuck out of there, and he finally gave up on the whole idea of like, you know, how Freeport's something that he should spend his fucking time on.
Didn't he really
tell us stories about FanFest since none of us were there but you.
I was there.
You guys weren't. No, it was actually a shit ton of fun. That's when they announced the Abyssal changes. They also announced Legion Kill Mails, which hasn't been released yet.
Sorry, did you go to
because it was announced at FanFest.
Yeah. Can you
but
believe
Abyssal
that Abyssal stuff started this year? I mean, it feels like it's been around forever.
I don't know if I shared this story. So...
It does. It totally does.
Brisk,
that happened in April.
How many Abyssal sites have you run?
A ton. I've lost a ton of shit.
0.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Fucking 0.
I run my first incursion 2 weeks ago.
I
mean,
I don't play at all. Of course.
Although I think I'm gonna have to start running those because
one of the things
I feel like they might be safer.
And still call it winning.
I feel like they might be safer to run than anomalies in NPC space, and so maybe I'll start doing those because I got to start actually like ratting for ISK now. Because I've given away a bunch of my money.
Nerfed it. Good job. You waited a little too long there.
I'm fine. No, I don't need to make a ton of money. I just need to start making money because I've been.
You can do burners.
I've just been freeloading off of a big pile of ISK, and now
Drayden, do.
Oh, I'm ISK positive.
And Venal.
You're in Black Legion. That's positive, like whatever you want to be.
Do what?
Yeah, you're in Black
Burners.
I don't want to do burner missions.
It's so much fun though.
They're a pain in the ass.
I just like honestly, I'd rather just like work to anomalies and just kill rats and go like that's how I made money before. I don't like grind for ISK and enjoy it. I just grind ISK to get money. That's all.
It's been nerfed, so it's not as. I mean, guys were complaining about it today. It's not as lucrative as it was.
Is it more lucrative than like grinding like a hub?
It's not as lucrative
in an Ishtar or something.
I don't even think Rocco mining is lucrative.
By the way, it's 10:04. We're an hour and 4 minutes in, and we're only like in April. But I am really fucking, like sad about the fact of whoever put in April 14th Eve FanFest, and like that's it. Like, what?
Yeah.
Were there big things that came out of Eve FanFest this past year?
Abyssal sites, Dirk.
Besides fucking Abyssal sites. Like
no, they went into this FanFest not wanting to do that this time.
Okay.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to overhype it and not promise anything.
Okay. But like, were there stories? Were there like, fun times? Like, were any of us there or anything like that?
Yes, I was literally hosting it, Dirk. That was like one of my greatest achievements, is being flown out to FanFest and hosting it for everyone.
And how'd that go?
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Tell us about
it. The CCP Games was also good as well.
Yeah, so they did CCP Games. They had an impromptu group. I don't know how that. Some people liked it, some people didn't.
Somebody's typing notes. Party in Iceland, only rain cares, something.
I got to see Dave Hunter live, who is also an Eve player. I got pictures with him because I got to the CCP
when
party.
I look back from my old age and go, what are the things I missed? Base Hunter will be one of those things.
I gotta hug Base Hunter.
No, like,
I haven't
and
showered
I'm like
since,
not even
okay?
fucking facetiously saying
nice.
Dude, I wanted to fucking see play.
Elo
dude
was
that
there.
I would like to have at my own fucking birthday party one year if he wants to like contribute to my
and I all went to
GoFundMe
dinner
with his
with
I'll
like
come to
all
your
of
house.
Darkness. It was a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, we had a good. It was a good time.
And then the DCU disbanded. That next
drone control universe unit.
Damage control unit, Dirk. Jesus.
I don't think it's damage. I think it was
drone control.
DCU was a drone alliance.
Look, that was the start of the whole downfall of the DRF. And,
I think DC was the U.S. time zone
contingent, everything. Yeah,
I mean, where we sit right now?
Again.
Looking back, where we sit right now,
Western.
What is the Russian control of the drone regions as we sit right now?
None.
I think that's all gone, right?
No, don't they have like one region like Fitabulas or something?
No. Do you guys understand
Holy rental
monumental shift? Like, even at the time when fucking PL and NC came in and installed bot and all that kind of stuff back in the fucking day, it was like the Russians were never almost totally fucking out. Right now they've been like pushed back into
right now
Siberia.
It's skill yourself, the rental of NC, PL, and that's it, right? Because Try's gone, and then Hard Knocks. You're right.
And Hard Knocks. Yeah, Hard Knocks.
And then half of InSmother is owned by Fraternity soon.
Right, because Try got pushed out.
Okay.
Yep, the rest is owned by
too much rental space. Delete regions. That's it.
So that's a huge change because the Russians had the BRF on lockdown for years.
Tell a lie. There is one Russian group that lives in Innsmouth right now, Scourge.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good though.
This game won't be the same without fucking Russians. I just don't want to see all them.
Well, the Russians are living in Tenerifis now. Like XX and all them live in. Yeah. They live where the old Steinwagen guys lived.
Is MacTip still there?
No, he doesn't play anymore. Solar Fleet disbanded.
Like, you've been doing this show how long? You don't know where my fucking MacTep is?
MacTep came back for like during the fraternity thing for like 2 minutes, and then he like said through it.
my boy.
I always thought it was pronounced. I always called it Master because I know how to read Cyrillic, but you guys are all tools.
And you would say Master out loud, like even talking to MacTep, I would always.
That's what everyone called him.
Daddy, would you call him Daddy too?
His damn name.
No,
that was his name. Master was his
even
name.
literally talking straight to fucking MacTep. You know what I called him? MacTep.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
I will not say Master.
But I know, but if MacTep means master, then guess what? By saying MacTep, you're saying master to him in Russian anyway, aren't you?
Yeah,
like so by saying master, you're taking his name and converting it to English and saying it in a language he doesn't understand.
I'm trying to be respectful, and you guys.
You can be respectful all you want to. Bow like Obama to the Japanese if you want to, but you know what? Not calling no man master.
That's his name.
Okay.
We can say that, but let's see here. April 19th, Imperium Blackhand steals Guardians game of the Guardians of the game of Guardians of the Galaxy Keepstar. What the fuck happened there?
Director flipped and stole the Keepstar that I delivered to the Corp 24 hours before. They left it in the delivery hangar, and the director grabbed it and ran.
That was the first show that we had Hyper Viper on, wasn't it?
Hyper Viper.
Yeah,
I believe that
was the first show we brought him on because he was the Black Hand guy that was doing some of that.
But yeah, that happened.
You guys are missing the most important
April
story
20th,
of April.
I'm not going to tell you guys what April fucking 20th is. It was my girlfriend's birthday in high school. But no, April 20th.
Dirk, so that's stupid.
Why do you remember that?
Siegel, CCP Siegel leaving, the executive
DRF
producer.
announced his planned withdrawal to Innsmother. Okay, that was a big fucking
Okay,
deal.
cool, you read a line.
Fuck this shit.
The executive producer leaving?
Again, common thread from back in January.
Oh my god. Executive producer leaving was probably the biggest announcement.
Siegel
was 6 days later.
That was the biggest.
All
a lot
the
of people
fanboys
knew
got
at
really fucking
FanFest,
upset when Siegel said she was leaving,
say.
which we knew for a year before she was pregnant.
And then they also had the
But she
backup.
wasn't leaving. She just was on maternity leave. That's different.
They also had another executive producer lined up, but they
leaving.
didn't announce it at this time. Jesus fuck, are you guys gonna touch on any of the important shit here? Or are you gonna
Nah.
just roll over me?
We're listening.
Well, then shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah, retired man.
Rain, go eat some chocolate or something.
No, shut the fuck up.
Connect the dots, Rain.
But Siegel was a big because a lot of people really like Siegel, and so the new executive producer, I don't even think anyone's actually spoken to him. Like he hasn't come out on stage and talked like Siegel did.
It doesn't exist.
Didn't I speak to him?
The new executive producer?
So there's the three. It's the triumvirate. It's the triumvirate. He's not the executive producer. He's it's no longer.
I don't think
well,
that's
sorry,
public.
yeah, he's.
Manbjorn.
No, it is. You literally had him on. You literally had him on. It's like there's three people that are doing the same role.
2/3 of the triumvirate on
Look,
talking stations.
it's Manborn and Berger and Orca together. I mean, this is not a secret. They know this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. So we're like
it's
trying to
okay.
We're trying to get it past Rain though, who thinks it was a secret.
I thought it was.
Well, I didn't know she was leaving until it was announced that she was
on
leaving.
the show.
Yeah, they did a show with all three of them on
That was a
stations.
good couple of weeks of fucking Eve Media talking about like, the whole fucking Seagull departure and everybody out there fucking like, being, like, oh my god, the world's gonna fucking end because Seagull's leaving, because they were all bought in to the whole fucking Seagull theory and all that kind of shit over the course
And I
of a
remember
couple of years that she was in there.
Matterall being very upset because he thought that the show that they got with Seagull at the very end when she was leaving was going to have like 1,000 viewers and only had like 500.
Well, the thing is, like,
no.
So, I mean, I was not part of the crowd that thought the world was going to end because Siegel was leaving. I didn't know that I didn't see and predict that Siegel was leaving until it was announced that Siegel was leaving. I'm like, oh shit, because like I thought since she came in that I thought she did a pretty damn good job at what she did, but I mean, it's when she was going, it's like I'm sure they'll find someone that will be able to.
So we were told that she was leaving on the day before FanFest, and I straight up asked them why they were putting her out on FanFest on the stage, and they said because they hadn't decided on an EP yet, and Hilmar was taking over. Because that was what was announced at FanFest, is that Hilmar, or afterwards, Hilmar was taking over for a bit.
I am gonna throw a shot out there to fucking Seagull for being Seagull. I am going to throw an anti-shot if I cough it back into the fucking shot, I guess I would have to do. For all those people who thought that, you know what? She was the begin-all, she was the end-all, she was the fucking alpha and omega of like all the fucking good things or bad things. No, you know what?
She was really good at her job. She did a great job, and then when she left,
you
someone else
motherfuckers gave a fucking free pass to for the entirety of her term there, when you would have held a bunch of other shit against her, but you took it out on other devs instead. Because that's what you fucking did. You didn't hold it to the fucking executive producer. You hold it to lower level devs. Okay? But
Turk's defending Fozzie now.
She was a good individual who was out, who grew up in the fucking game and like all that kind of. But you know what?
Shots fired,
a bunch of you fucking dicked a bunch of fucking other devs because you weren't able to put the fucking dollar meets the fucking boss on the fucking line. Whatever. To Seagull for the time that she put in to like that fucking unearned fucking credit.
And now that she's over at Unity, and I love Unity because they're great. They do BattleTech. They do BattleTech. Well, they do the engine for BattleTech, so I like Unity.
Don't blame shit on every fucking dev that writes a fucking dev blog. You want to blame shit? Blame it on the fucking boss. Once it goes past a certain amount of time, blame it on the fucking boss.
Helmar can blame it everything. You can't blame it on Helmar, dude.
All that being said, who the fucking did a bunch of fucking crossouts?
I did. All that shit's not important. We
I'm not
can
going to
focus
talk
on
about how
Legacy
Elo was there.
We can talk about Legacy attacking PL and Pravi in May, and then we can talk about CLTXS.
Why didn't you cross out the stuff that we'd already covered?
I want to talk about
you crossed out New
I
Eden.
don't want to talk about stupid bullshit because you guys sit and ramble about stupid bullshit.
Not,
we have
are you the only one here?
We're old men. We want to reminisce about the good times.
You crossed out New Eden report launching. That's like one of the major news sites now.
I want to talk about the Kenshin doxing scandal just
because Ray doesn't want We don't have to talk about how that guy blew up shit with fucking PL because Headliner was a fucking dick.
We're wasting time now. Do you want to start timing it?
We got 45 minutes.
No, that's not enough time. We're in May. It's not enough time.
Actually, look. Even I'm not so long from this fucking game that like I don't remember the fact that nobody's coming out after us. Fuck those bitches.
All right, so the two biggest things that happened in
Legacy
May
attacks PL and Pravi because you know what? PL doesn't get a free fucking pass.
Except we already talked about it like
was a huge
20 minutes ago.
No,
I mean that was a huge
we did hit the PL and Pravi thing. They were going.
Well,
They were going after the
PL moving in there unobstructed to everybody else and wondering, is this not the fucking gold rush?
It was the gold rush.
They put PL out of Pravi.
Now maybe in
is fighting PL. Is PL going to bring their super fleet? Is PL going to bring their super fleet down? Or is it going to be a massive fight? How is Test going to be able to? They don't have a super capital fleet the size of PL's and NC Dots. How are they going to deal with it? What happens if NC comes down? It was a huge big deal.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like at this point, it may not like despite whether we knew it before, like in February or March or whatever the first thing, but at this point we knew that PL was going in there for the faction Fortizars. That was like their only goal. They didn't want Providence. They wanted
By that
the
point,
money.
they had already taken it over. By that point, it was done. They had done everything. They had control of everything, and Test decided they're going to come and take it from them. And we all thought it was going to be a big fight. And
but that was a big change, was it not?
No. It basically we went in. Mostly, other than like the first 3 fights, like new FCs went in, did Entosis fleets, and it was like 2 weeks and we had 3/4 of the Pravi done.
It was
done.
Crazy. Nobody saw that coming.
I'm not going to have a rewriting of history here. When PL first went in against Pravi, there was nobody else out there making major moves against the gold rush of faction Fortizars that may come in the future, right? But here we are now in May. And Legacy counterattacks and says, you know what? All those stations you took, PL, we're not going to just let you have them free.
No.
We're going to
so they waited for a month. So what Pro God and Billy did was they waited for the month to the date where the changes were coming, and then they moved up to ERVK, and from ERVK they just spent like FCs in small groups up, and they just entoasted the region. And I got to say, in 2 weeks' time, they had 3/4 of Pravi stations retaken. It was split up between each alliance and legacy, and each alliance and legacy was given constellations and Pravi to retake.
I mean, and that was pretty damn cool because that was the first time that I think anybody had shown that the PL patina was finally starting to come off.
You also got to remember
like,
that
all right, maybe PL's not as strong as everybody thinks they are.
You got to remember that most of PL's Entosis at that time was done by one corp.
Mm-hmm.
Was led by Ragnarscorp. Corp. Thank you. Yeah, I can't remember the name. Higher than Everest at Ragnarscorp, and that's who led that charge, because PL couldn't be asked to do any Entosis thing before that, barely at minimum, other than starting a fight.
Did PL do any ADM work when they had Proby?
A little. So no, because Doom did bring his fucking Oracles down, and he did try to raise a couple ADMs, and he had a few dudes with him. And he did end up losing his Oracles for that, but like they did some high ADM systems, but they didn't really do anything on like a large scale, though.
So once we get past the Proby thing, I think the other big thing that happened in May was one of the largest fights up to that point was the XIX fight in CTEC L, where they ended up losing like 3.5 trillion worth of stuff. And it was a massive brawl on that.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes. Maybe.
Do you see I mock Plaza? Like I'm gonna completely honestly bring him
chat.
Up. Yeah. Do you see him?
I'll have to scroll up, I think.
Just like invite him to chat.
Invite
him to chat because like
okay. You said right. I was looking for the I. It's AMOC.
Yeah, see it now.
I see the AMOC Plaza.
We're gonna invite him on. We're gonna allow him in the fucking chat. We're gonna have a fucking good time, and like we're gonna see if like look. There's a whole thing about fucking Dirk talking a bunch, and Dirk does fucking talk a bunch. He really fucking does. And honestly, I promise you, motherfuckers, I'll back away from that shit. It's like my goal for 2019 about how I'm gonna lose weight and lose fucking talk time. But seriously, I'm not gonna fucking do that about bullshit that people don't know dick about and don't want to talk fucking Eve about. Not
Dirk,
gonna
you spent
fucking
30 seconds already talking about that.
Timing it?
So are we
I'm
into
literally
May?
timing it.
Rain is
I'm tired of
timing
this
it.
garbage.
Let it happen. Because look, if what you want is low rent fucking talk about these things that happen across the course of the fucking year, that's fine. I am totally fucking for that. We can all just
gonna jump into May?
Fucking nonsense from talking motherfuckers. All that being said.
All right,
Launch of Abyssal Dead Space.
That was a big deal in May. I think the XIX thing, the XIX move op, that was the first major move op that got disrupted. That was cool.
And
but other than that, most people don't remember that, to be honest.
They disbanded, right? After that?
Yeah, that basically killed them.
Yeah.
No, they live in Tenerife
one of the
now.
oldest Russian groups.
No,
they live in Tenerife.
Well, the problem
they merged the whole of all of their alt alliances into XIX and moved into Tenerife.
Yeah, so it's right. The problem is they didn't coordinate. Like, we didn't know they were getting attacked, or they were moving until they got dropped. Test or Legacy at that point. So
June, that was the removal of the stations. That was huge. That was a big deal. And of course, the most important thing that happened in June was the CSM elections.
And the Imperium takes 5 slots in that.
And the game is friendly.
Well, I mean, the whole the thing with the CSM this year is Nullsec has always dominated CSM, but I don't think they've ever dominated as much as they have this year.
But to be honest, and
which is not unexpected. It's not unexpected based on the voting turnouts, but
that's the thing. I've tried to explain this to people. Everybody's like, "Oh no, Imperium took too many seats. They're gonna." It's no.
I think the Imperium's always had a big sway, and
this was an absolute fluke. The way that the single transferable vote thing works, and I'm not going to bore the shit out of everybody by explaining it. The bottom line is the amount of voters that the Goons have, the most they can do, most Imperium ballot can get is maybe 3. The only reason they got 5 this time was because Judge had his own base and I won, and nobody saw that coming. But if I wasn't in the Imperium, then they wouldn't have had that slot, because that vote, I was very pleased, and I'm always happy to be on the Imperium ballot. And for those of you, I have my secret little B pin on underneath my shirt.
Fucking traitor.
Traitor. His lapel.
See, all right, lapel. I got my B.
Why is it hidden?
Because I'm a secret B.
It's like your Freemasons ring. You don't wear it outside.
Exactly. You don't. Exactly. Although I wear my.
It is a independent, strong alliance, bro.
But the point is that this was a fluke. Frankly, if Creature had not gotten kicked off because of all the bullshit that came out on Reddit,
and if Jin had left for Red Knight's Dawn or like
Red Noise.
Red Noise
7 stuff.
Like right
yeah,
before
Jin had
that.
left Pravi and joined Test, so that's why Jin may or may not have got on, but he also made it again.
May or may not.
I've heard both theories. Like a lot of people really like Jin. Yes.
But anyway,
Brisk might muted.
And if I hadn't run, then they would have had 3 slots. So I mean, at the end of the day, this is not going to happen. Like next year, depending on who runs, you're not going to see 5 Imperium guys on there or 6 Imperium guys on there. It's just not going to happen.
You will.
Cool.
I think you will.
You just as easily could next year, based on the fact of if motherfuckers do not understand how a voting pattern works, you literally fucking will.
Look, if people figure it out. I mean, look, Sort has his own base of support. Sort was the number 2 vote getter besides Aerith. Okay, the fact is, if Test and Horde put up their own candidates, they will win. All right. If I run again, if a NIT votes for me the way like they did the last time, then I will win potentially.
You got my vote, bro.
Just how this works is if you've got a solid base and get enough first round ballot votes, you're going to win.
What you're saying is the most organized block will get their candidates.
That's exactly correct.
Well, then you're going to end up with 5 more Imperium members next year.
Well, the problem is that
there's no question.
So there's no way to know like what votes come from what region, like nullsec, highsec, and lowsec. I mean, obviously, nullsec probably puts in the most votes, being that they're the ones that have the highest.
Have the most alts.
Yeah, well,
the problem is there's
no, not the most alts. I mean, like the fact that like the majority of the candidates are nullsec, or not can. I mean, like the actual people that go into office are nullsec.
But that's because as
they're more organized. They're more involved.
Organized.
Yeah, they're more organized. They're more involved.
It comes down to unification.
Correct.
Right, exactly. So
like it comes down. People like Wormholders, for example, they try to back 3 candidates instead of backing 1, and so all of these groups end up losing to the Imperium because they don't back like one particular person who could take their things forward.
Right. If
and so that's how the Imperium gets 5
or back TikTok, then one of them would have won.
Well, okay. So what I was getting at is like. So obviously, nullsec is the most organized by far, even though like they're aside from I would say Wormhole's the lowest population group in the game. Well, no, lowsec is probably lowest. Nullsec is second. So, but what I'm saying is like, is there has highsec votes gone down? I don't know if that's a true thing, but like, no, they've gone up because it almost feels like it feels like there's less and less. Like
turnout in highsec is relatively low compared to the rest of the game, but I mean Steve gets the vast majority of his support from highsec, and he wins every time.
Yeah, he does, but he's like the one dude. He's the one guy.
Were lower.
Well, aside from
his votes were lower this year.
Wasn't Sugar Kyle highsec as well?
No, she was low.
Oh, she was low.
Sugar was
actually warfare with a bit of
a couple years ago.
But yeah, so I was just wondering, it feels like less and less, like it feels like the representation is going more and more out towards nullsec. And I mean, like this year was a fluke, like you said, but in the past years, it feels like there's less, it seems to be more and more nullsec dominated. And I'm wondering if that's because voter turnout in the other regions is going down. We lost a camera from
someone like Brisk as well would have gotten a lot of, he would have got a lot of highsec votes as well. Because of his like being out front with like talking to people, whereas a lot of people don't have that like attention out the front. Like that's how he would have gotten a lot of people, and that's why I think Steve got less votes.
Well, I mean that's the thing. Like when I looked at the math, and I ran this like a real campaign, so I was tracking all of my votes, but I can only track the people that were talking to me, and I had about 1,000 Init guys that had voted, and I knew I had about 1,000 votes. I ended up with 1,990 on the first ballot. So 900 of those votes obviously came from somewhere else, and I bet a lot of them came from highsec. So, I mean, it just depends. But the problem has generally been that there's so much stuff going on in highsec that trying to run as the highsec candidate is hard because you generally aren't going to get known unless you're somebody like Steve who's done all the third-party stuff. I mean, Commander A's ran as a highsec candidate a couple times, and it just never panned out for him.
That's not why highsec doesn't get anybody.
All right, real quick. So you're back, LB, but your old camera is still in the thing. It's from.
Well,
hold on. It's like
what happened to fucking Rain though?
I'm okay. It left on its own. It left on its own. I was worried because I was like, if I kick it, it's like, do you want to kick Jeremy LeBlanc? If you kick them, they'll not be able to rejoin the meeting. I was afraid of it will kick both.
Good-looking man with a fucking beard that's similar to mine. Like,
yeah, it swapped. It swapped you guys. One sec.
Fucking wound. Okay, and then I've got this girl over there who's like, man, my fucking hair's pulled back and I got headphones on. I'm not sure what to look like.
Yeah, it like all the cameras swapped around because of the shit.
Her name is Brisk Rubal, who is a good-looking man.
Apparently,
last time I knew.
And I turned into Iron Wolf.
You know what? You know what's fucking good? And it's what's so fucking pure about all the things in the world. I'm still the guy that I am on stage.
Same.
I'm still the fucking man. I'm still up there. I'm still fucking top right or left or whatever fucking corner you see me in.
Yeah, the one guy.
Wait, I actually moved Brisk to raid spot.
Exactly. Let that guy suck a fucking dick.
God.
Jesus.
All that shit being said, what are we back in May?
We're in July.
We're in
now.
July.
I think we started. No. We're in March.
Wait, guys, before we jump into July,
did somebody win an alliance tournament?
We already talked about that. Scroll down, go to the summer, which I think is like the really big news of the summer. The Imperial Legacy War
summer was
versus
a big deal.
what was it?
And here
it was the North versus the South, whatever you want to call it.
I want to preface this with the bullshit that was fucking talked about on Talking in Stations this last fucking Sunday. About
what?
The most influential alliance in the game. And I'm sorry. Like, honestly, I don't want to fucking call this out. I really don't want to fucking call it out.
So
because I feel it's inflated because it has been, like, given to them in a way.
Wait, who was it?
It was Test, and I don't...
It was Test?
Big yikes, no.
Look, I nominated them because if you look at it from the beginning of this year until the end of the year, who came out of nowhere and became, like, the biggest deal and took over...
Black Legion, you're welcome.
Well, hold on. Was that the criteria? Who came out of nowhere?
Look, Test was one of these alliances they made jokes about.
Was that the criteria? Who came out of
people
nowhere?
People still make jokes about Test. That's Test.
It was the most influential. And if you look at what they did between making Shield Supers a thing again and showing that they had value, which nobody believed was possible.
So what exactly did they do? So Billy made a deal with Imperium to bail them out, and they got powerful because of it?
It's not even that.
It's what they did with previous Test player, by the way. That's not me.
What they did with Supers and
Titans, did not help my case, bro.
Big deal.
Oh, what they did with Supers besides team up with goons? Is that what they did? Oh, wow, our Supers are better because we're working with goons.
No. Brisk, you weren't.
How great they did in the South.
Imperium has always been armor, and then the bottom line was the
they're not.
Stuff.
That's absolutely false. They have a shield super fleet, dude.
We have
Shields
both,
are a fucking joke in this. That's why they don't make shield slaves, because of how fucking shit this is.
Both. But the point is that before that, everybody said shield supers are shit. They're gonna die. Why even bother having them? And then Test proved, hey, guess what? They're not that bad. Look at what happened in UALX. That was their shield fleet.
Oh no!
And then all of a sudden,
the 40 Titans on the enemy side didn't primary
us. And then after that, everybody said, okay, well, let's have us have both armor and shield because we can deploy one and the other and have two.
I just want to give opinion for someone that was in Test at the time, right? So Peel came down. They had their friends. They'd say like half of the Eve came on Test, and it wasn't true because like Tri wasn't even like existent during the war. It was really just NCPL. And then if it wasn't for the deal with Imperium, like Test would have never pulled themselves out of that hole.
I'm not arguing that they wouldn't, but what I'm saying is that they did everything right this year.
By the way, I just want to scoot back just a second to early fucking July when PL deployed to Amencia.
I'm not done talking about Test.
When PL deployed to Amencia, and then the Imperium goes, and by the way, motherfuckers, we're deploying north. Okay. Just so you know that at the beginning of the literal fucking
2
summer,
months ago,
this shit actually happened.
Going back to
real quick, I want to pull it.
Started before about why I think Test was most influential.
Don't forget that fucking reality happened.
I want to pull it back to March.
Stuff, what I think was also important was all the stuff that they did in HiSec. They took out all of I Choose You. They took out Horde's complete control over perimeter.
By losing like what, a 70 bill Raytaru because they didn't understand.
No,
No, Briscoe's right.
They anchored the first Keep Star and HiSec. It was a big deal. All the stuff.
You can't keep flipping them up without pointing out their fuck up.
No. Wait. No, he's right. Like,
don't leave the rewrite of history, bitches.
It's not a rewrite of history.
It's not.
You're rewriting history, Britt.
Billy and ProGod actually changed tests around and pointed in a direction that was positive in the changes to the Eve. I mean, I'm not going to deny that.
Can I also add something to that as well? A lot of people thought that the Imperium going north was going to hurt Test long term.
Correct.
But Test pulled it around and managed to hold the line long enough for the north to fuck up and PL be forced to come back north.
No,
so in that they
do
deserve props.
Wait, hold on. I agree with you, like, majority wise, but the mere fact of the matter that the Imperium also had this second fucking discombobulated fucking shield fleet also said, but we've also got this through, too, that we can actually throw over there before we actually bring our shit end around.
That has nothing to do with it.
No,
like the reality is
Goons did move a capital shield fleet into Test
but
base.
it's still day-to-day work that still needed to be done by Test to not be overthrown or lose too much while the Goons were doing what they were doing in the
work.
north.
What do you mean, not showing up for timers and basically timing it out of their time zone? Is that the day-to-day work? Because I was there.
That's a legitimate campaign strategy. A lot of people blue ball until you can win.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is Test started the year not that great, and they ended the year top 3 alliances in the game.
Probably most improved, I would say.
Well, Test did really well. I think there are a lot of other alliances that aren't these massive coalitions that need some shout out. And then I'm not talking Black Legion, but I'm talking about I don't know, didn't Skill Yourself completely
came out
as well,
or something like that? I'm thinking didn't Skill Yourself completely evict
But Skill
Yourself
in a coalition as well, not on their own.
Okay, that's okay.
Look,
that's
I'd shout out to Init too. I mean, the stuff we managed to do this year was
you
a pretty
would.
big deal. But still,
you can't shout out yourself.
You can't shout out your alliance.
Rain
was about to. She's like, I'm not talking Black Legion, but just saying.
Well, no, I meant if I'm thinking okay, if you're gonna sit here and talk about the greatest alliances ever, and you're gonna say it's Goons, Test, or Pandemic Legion, I'm gonna be like, okay,
we're talking about
greatest
alliance ever. I think we're talking the greatest alliance from January to December. I think we're talking about the greatest alliances. I think we're talking about alliances that have done things from January to December. I mean,
how about August?
Hold on.
Well, we still have stuff.
I honestly want to go back to the whole fucking
UALX
UALX thing. I'm sorry.
6RCQ was a big deal too.
We talked about it though, right? About how these fights had a bloodier fight than BTAC R.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Holistically all together, or sometimes on their own.
That's the thing. I think the Imperial Legacy Northern fight, and then the fight with Tri down in Geminate and Ketchum, wherever the fuck it was down there. All of that was like the biggest war in forever, and it was a summertime war. I mean, when do we have summertime wars?
I mean, the last couple of years we've had nothing but summertime wars.
Well, think about it. Every summer is someone's winter. So
that's the thing. I just think it was a big deal that we had this big a fight, and the fact that we had so many of these massive Titan brawls in the same, literally, it was one a month for 3 months in a row. That's never happened before.
It allowed us to go to CCP and say, you don't have the ability to let it all go away now, because they used to sit there and go, oh, well, these fights only happen once or twice a year. You were having them consistently nearly every single month, so it's something that CCP has to address.
Right, and they had to fix the server so that the stuff wouldn't break. And
I think that's a key point
that was a good thing.
That everyone hates to talk about. No one wants to sit and talk about servers, but there are really, really negative things pointed out with the servers. Almost like if you want to talk about the chat issues, but CCP actually managed to turn around and fix those. I don't think we've had a massive fight that put that much strain on the servers yet recently.
Not since.
Well, that's the problem, though. We've had servers that we've had the server, but we've also had fights that are way less than that have had worse server
200-minute fights in the servers, it has 1,000 people in it.
It's not consistent, and I think that's the biggest problem. Is that when CCP hates this, and they've said that to us on the CSM before. They don't want to be a factor in these big fights, but the fact is they are, and everybody you have to take into account potential issues with what the server is going to do, if it's going to shit the bed, if it's going to cause problems. Every FC has to deal with that going into these fights, and they have to take it into account. And that sucks because it makes it impossible to really plan ahead because you never know. You may light the sign or jump in and half your fleet disconnects.
Well, these days,
why can't the sand in the sandbox and the walls of the fucking sandbox actually fucking matter?
Well, the problem is these days the server has consistently become a problem, not fleet size. Sorry, not fleet size.
No, I agree.
So now you're saying fleet size doesn't matter, but the
I think what Source trying to say is no matter, like, you can have a 100-man fleet, 200-man fleet, but the server still acts up.
That's nice for the 9 months, in the past, you'd have like over 3,000 people, and that'd be an issue.
Right.
Now it's no matter how big the fight is, it's obnoxiously small.
You know how
some of the big fights would get reinforced nodes and it would be fine.
You know how CCP has fucking events where they like roll shit out there and like people like do this like Abyssal stuff. Abyssal stuff is like for real now, but like all their fucking monthly events. You know what we should have? We should have fucking old school fucking nullsec events, like a month where like your shit is 1997 fight style out there in fucking nullsec.
Like just roll
up like that just for like a month, like just as an event, like as a really cool fucking event.
What if they like one-off days, like random
2008, 2009,
random days, where like on like the second Saturday of each month, your ship gets random stats that were applied to that ship at some point in the past before all kinds of balances, so it might make your ship shitty or OP.
That's not going to happen. But one of the things that I talked about, but it's impossible. You have to change all the numbers and everything.
I know.
One of the things that I have suggested that I think would be cool.
It's wishful thinking to shake the pot.
Game you got and you play it.
What I have suggested is, if one of the big complaints about nullsec is, it turns into every time somebody does a frigate roam, they get Titans dropped on them. There should be an area of space, not high sec, where PvP is common, that you don't have to worry about supers and Titans. So what I suggested was make low sec no capitals, so it's only subcap fighting. I think that would be cool.
I mean, you're talking about let's face it.
That's not possible.
I mean, Titans and supers would be useless if you didn't allow any of the Doomsdays.
You could also never move.
September. No, that's true. I mean, that would be a problem. But I think it would be fun to talk about.
So, September.
Go ahead, Brisk.
My birthday's in September.
This is your end of the fucking year. Go, Brisk.
Well,
go,
I mean, look, August.
Go, Brisk.
All right, so one of the things we didn't talk about was Jintan's 7th Estate Red Noise thing. That all happened in like the span of like 3 months.
Fucking Jintan disappeared from the time he left.
Did you see my notes on that or no?
What is the 7th Estate?
And then like jumped over to his own fucking alliance and then like became fucking like.
Isn't he in it now? He's in it now, isn't he?
Like honestly, Jintan like completely like he evaporated and then became water, but then like turned to ice, like during the course of a fucking summer.
But that's what's funny. It's like it's
the
funny. Story of starting out and trying to become like a big coalition guy, and then completely falling off the face of the earth because
I haven't really seen him at all since, other than Vegas and the summit. I haven't seen him at all in game. Or even in I mean, Briskin.
He's actually. I haven't seen him in CSM stuff. He's been FCing some small stuff, but nothing major.
But I mean, I saw him. He was with us in the HK wormhole stuff.
He did some small stuff. He's been trying to do like some small battleship.
Yeah, I'm just talking about on the CSM side. I haven't seen him other than maybe the last month a couple of times. So I haven't seen him since the summit.
I'm gonna do a shot for fucking Jintan, but September.
So I mean that was a classic, spy story kind of thing. I thought that was interesting. But anyway, that's the end
September
of
that. September was controversial because
the Abyss.
Well, no, the big thing was the days before. So the day before we all arrived, or I think it was the day that Judge and I arrived, because we arrived Friday.
Right.
GigX was banned by CCP for good.
Literally
he then hid it for a couple of days. Yeah, so he hid it from his members to try and make it that the CSM had got him banned. Be it CCP wanted to act on it. Apparently. Well, it wasn't just you; it was the other people as well. But not everything's about you, Brisk.
Everything's about me.
Everything. So he tried to hide it. The Imperium found out, and obviously, he then admitted it to me in private as well. And I made sure that it was clarified, and everybody then found out about it. And then obviously CCP put out that blog that said that they would it was a blog that basically seemed about GigX but wasn't about GigX.
Well, I know. I was gonna say,
and it was an update of their policy.
Yeah, about like you guys clarifying what counts as like players being banned permanently versus like harassment policy. And I know a lot of people, CSM included, have been like nearly begging CCP to get that updated because it was very, very gray.
And that was a big deal for us, and that was I think one of the biggest accomplishments that we came out of the summit from was that, you know, they were willing to put this out there and talk about security stuff that they'd never been willing to talk about before. And I think Sort did a great job, and I think a lot of us talked about it, but I mean, I think he kind of put the human face on it with his stories about what's happened to him. So it was a big deal, and I was happy we were able to get that done.
And this was the first time that personally got the CSM experience.
Yes,
he went into the summit also super excited and green and everything like that, and within the 2 days he was hating his life.
I was like, this sucks. Go home.
Oh Jesus!
But then good stuff came out of it. So you know, it's funny.
It was a roller coaster of season.
Exactly. That's one thing they don't tell you is it's definitely a roller coaster ride. But the big thing in September, the biggest thing was CCP gets sold to Pearl Abyss.
Oh, was that the biggest thing?
That was the biggest thing.
I think
that
that's
was
the
most
biggest
shit people are
way
about.
biggest thing in September.
And the sky
there was a bunch of big things that happened in September. Like I believe that
September was a
Sword
crazy
Dragon
month,
selling
but that
off
was the
fucking
biggest one.
Fortizars to like, you know, keep his ass out of a fucking like, you know.
I think there's
the face of a
something
fucking
about
dick was
I mean,
like a big thing.
That's pretty big, but still.
Like,
if you think about it, there were things.
You know, CCP, you know, the summit, like. There was a bunch of things in September. It's like, don't downplay any of these things other than what? What was it you were doing?
Selling the fucking company that makes the game to a Korean company
getting sold to the Koreans.
Oh my
God.
God.
That's no big deal.
I'm sorry, my bad. Yes, that was actually rather significant.
That's a little bit. So no cat ears yet, and no bikinis yet.
No,
and it's
no
actually kind of
Actually,
sad because Jen was
so-
complaining the other day because apparently Star Citizen they have cat ears already.
Cat ears.
Wait, you
And
guys,
there are none
wait.
in the
game.
game.
You
I
guys
swear
say
to
that,
God,
but
if
I
there
have
are
an
cat
item in
ears
game.
on a fucking Titan, that will be so
No,
cool.
no,
If there
I
are
have an
cat
item
ears
in
on a
game.
frigate, that is bullshit.
Hair accessory shipment damage. The severely crushed box contains remains of a single beautifully handmade hair accessory that unfortunately beyond repair. The headband was once topped with a small pair of fluffy animal ears. At this point, no amount of nano paste will make this wearable much less fashionable. It's actually an in-game item.
Which is great.
Right,
That was
and
a
it's
joke.
a joke saying that there'll never be cat ears in this fucking
There will
game.
never
is
be.
great.
It is,
There will never
but
be
the fact that they give a
until there
shout out, I
are.
feel like Jintan's name should be on this item.
I concur.
Didn't it originate with him? Didn't that whole fucking meme
Yeah, it
originate
was
with him?
Jintan's meme, yeah.
Because there's like memes and then like, you know, fucking second derivative memes and shit.
I mean,
like
he
that
wasn't the
before they
first one to
actually
bring it up.
become art in
They've
EVE
been trying to
Online.
bring it up for years.
Well, there was a whole war
Right.
in Pravia based on weebs versus non-weebs.
Waffles
Wasn't
did
that World War
and they
Weeb?
named their Astra houses after anime stuff. It's actually pretty cute.
There you go.
All
Alright,
that being said,
So Pearl Abyss was sold. I just wanted to move on. I mean, we're over it. I'm over
no,
it.
hold on. And honestly,
We have 15
all
minutes
the
left,
fucking
Eric.
bitching, all the fucking bitching, moaning, and everything else that fucking happened back then. Has anybody been able to point to anything that they think?
We're
except
not
for-
through our
except
first
for this
year.
fucking Christmas giveaway, which was totally about, oh my God, we're gonna give all this shit to fucking veterans who are still cash paying customers.
It's all about
Okay,
please
but
log
we're
in
not
so we
gonna
can
get
have
there
our
yet.
login numbers or our online
Because that's
numbers.
December, right? That's December.
But look, September was also the big fight over the wormholers and the 500 MN Hick thing, the ECM changes, all the stuff that they added for the October release. Cat was released
How
in
much did
September.
our dicks get
That was
out
a big
about
deal.
that?
I mean,
Let's
we're-
fix
Ours, none at all.
It's
Everyone
fixed.
else's,
Ours?
yes.
Totally.
Do you
in a
still
bunch-
have the
bunch of
shirt on,
fucking
Dirk?
ways.
Do you have the shirt on, Doug?
Do I
I
have
mean,
my
that's the
on?
shirt. The shirt
Yes,
is wearing.
I literally have the shirt
Intended
on.
game
Hold on.
mechanic.
And listen, my
Come
fucking
on.
my neck is
Collateral
hurt, so I'm gonna
damage.
get out of my chair and still squat down. So I hope you guys can fucking see this.
Whoa, you had to announce the squat maneuver?
Collateral damage.
Is a
I mean,
feature.
that was
not-
September. That
it's
was
a
big
feature,
deal.
not a bug. Yeah, I got that shirt.
Literally,
I got it on
when
too,
a
it's all
shirt
good.
gets made about how your collateral fucking damage happens,
Can't believe people
because
cried
collateral
about that.
damage just fucking
Yeah,
happens.
they
Live
did.
with it.
The-
Move the fuck on.
The funny thing is like the big uproar, and then the thing is like CCP made the like it was I think it was Falcon's post. Like he made the acknowledgement, like, "Hey, this is a
Rise.
thing."
Yes.
Oh, it was right. Okay, it was Rise.
Right.
Falcon came with a follow up then. But the thing is, like, they made the announcement and then they said, like, yes, we understand this is going to be collateral damage, but we're going to fix this they made the mention, like, we understand this is going to fuck up and we're going to fix it ASAP. And everyone blew up, and then
everyone
CCP
cried.
came. Yeah, everyone blew
because
up.
Nobody trusts CCP when they say they're going to fix something.
Well, but the thing is, like,
no,
you gotta wait until you see what the fix is before you can pass judgment. And when it wasn't like,
what are you,
when
nuts?
Well, hold on, it wasn't
how these players are.
Wait, it was not. It was not a thing. It was
players are the most patient people I've ever met in my life. Come on.
Well, wait, hold on. It was not a thing where like we're gonna fix this next month.
You know what's scary? We actually are.
Wait, yeah, we are, yeah, but the thing is, like, they didn't say it was gonna be fixed next month. They said we're gonna fix this like ASAP, like very soon, next few days or next week.
It literally took a week,
and people blew up. It's like they didn't even recognize that they said they were gonna fix it, and they did.
But
not in specifics.
The thing is,
time out during the last fucking like 12 minutes of our really fucking sensible fucking show. I just want to introduce everybody out there to my fucking boy Big Mega, who is the only one of you motherfuckers who ever met McGurk Jr.
He's the guy. He's
I brought him in. He's a young fucking.
Is he the boyfriend?
He's what Drayden was back in the fucking day. He's what Drayden was back in the fucking day. Big Mega, Big Data.
What was I back in the day?
Big Data.
Like I don't even know.
You were the fucking new bro who didn't know shit about what anybody was fucking talking about on this show.
Okay? I'm not that anymore.
Right now, just to like say hi and be like, hey, what's up? I actually know his fucking daughter, outside.
You know her?
Well, he does.
Oh.
Yeah,
I do too, but like.
Okay, so we covered September and October with some of those comments.
However, that being said, I brought him into the fucking channel. I'm not saying he gets to talk, because like bitches don't get to talk.
Well, no. If you brought him in the channel, he gets to talk. What's up, Big Data?
October.
The rest of September was Dead Coalition, Sort and the Faction Fortizars, Horde not liking it, and then basically being bitches, and then we're in October, and October was a pretty crazy month for a lot of stuff. Not the least.
Wait. We should give Sword his 5 seconds of gloating, saying, "Yeah, they came and they fucked up." And
what am I gloating about?
Well,
that's October though. That's October.
There you go.
The Russian Stalingrad held.
Never invade.
They ran out of bullets before you ran out of men.
Galaxy and AU times.
I mean, Rain, you were there, right? I believe Black Legion was involved in that.
We were.
Did you say Black Legion?
Black Legion.
Black Legion?
Do you guys
Black
believe
Legion?
the Interceptor?
That's racist.
Stop with your racist nonsense.
I didn't. No.
Whoa! Reeling it back. Do you guys believe the Interceptor changes mattered for anything other than labeling this fucking labeling in your hangar? This Interceptor is not fucking nullified.
It specified what Interceptor you had to make your travel ship.
Look, the point of the Interceptor nerf was to show these guys that the only reason anybody uses Interceptors is because of the nullification. And I think we have done that because nobody uses the old ones anymore. They all use the ones that are nullified. So there you go.
Right. It basically said this.
Are they going to buy back my fucking like non-nullified Interceptors?
Oh, stop crying!
Seriously, it's like I only bought them because I was trying to be good to them at the time.
Sells some new.
Yeah, it basically just said like it's like because I used to fly a Claw as my travel scepter. Now it's like nope, can't do that anymore. Gotta fly the other.
Congrats, Matterall! You bought a ton of Claws. Now you're stuck with them.
Yeah, I have like 3. Berries. I still have 3 Claw travel Interceptors like sitting around the cluster somewhere. They're dead to me. They're not even ships anymore.
I just like the
Berries
fact
is
that
where
the
it's at.
Raptor is
All
now
over
like
Eve that I can't
complete
use.
crap.
Yeah, I mean, like still, it's like I never liked the Stiletto, but if I have to, I have to.
That was October. November.
Well, hold on a second. There's other important stuff that happened in October.
Well, then stop talking about it.
Oh man, it's Risk McGurk.
No. Didn't release anything new, which everyone was kind of bored about.
All right, so October. Test Anchor's the first high-sec keep star.
Wait, is it the first high-sec keep star?
It is.
No one else has. Are you 100% positive?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Never
That's why
happened
it's a story.
before.
Okay.
That's why it was a story. And I lost my Ragnarok. That was a big story in October. My Rag blew up. That was a big deal.
You're not allowed to talk about stuff about yourself. Only I can do that.
And E-Vegas.
Wow.
E-Vegas.
Wow.
It's in the fine print of the show rules.
I'm not even gonna touch that one.
Is that like part of the show?
It's E-Vegas, but I feel like nothing great was announced at E-Vegas. They had
No,
according
it's
to the
not
Trig
It's not
timeline.
about what was
it's
announced.
about
It's about how much-
Universal.
It was
He
about
Vegas
how
was
much-
about the
That's it.
cabana.
Yeah, that
There's
well,
still
that's
no
that's what I have to say. Like
fucking don't kill Mills.
I honestly just spent my entire time at E-Vegas at the cabana, and if I wasn't at a bar or out in an
Or
event,
limping, or being carried back to your room.
no, that was last year. That was not this year. I never had to be carried back to my room. I was a kid.
We're not talking about how like everything's about drinking.
I got a replacement ring.
Are we in April? Is that where we're at?
We're in November now.
November.
In
November.
November.
We're gonna make it on time if we keep this up.
So
Wait, I lost
Blaster.
it.
So we
Last
need to do a
one
shot.
let
We
me
do a
talk,
shot
let me
because
talk.
Blastum fucking retired.
That was
Everyone
the
do a
most
shot.
important thing in November.
So Blastum retired. We
God
finally got
bless him
Brisk
for being able to
as kind of a
fucking get
permanent
away.
member. Whatever they announced at E-Vegas actually released. If you want in-game stuff, BL and Horde with your
Shot
from
of
the
fucking
north.
Tito's.
It's a lesson you guys
Why not?
never invade Guardians of the Galaxy in AU time zone.
Why are people like Brisk officially fucking joins? That motherfucker began
a joke.
running for shit.
That was a joke.
Yeah,
But
what kind of
that's what I
bullshit
got-
is that? Even my
That's when I
daughter,
finally
even my
got
daughter's
on the
like, "Oh,
opening
Brisk
credits
is like
roll.
officially on the show." I go, "Yes, Brisk is officially on the fucking show."
So Dirk-
you know
Dirk-
why? Because he came on that first time and fucking manned up and like stood to it.
Alright, so now we move to December. Dirk, if you want to read the highlighted bullet
Did we
points.
skip from October to November?
Yeah, we already read November.
No,
Read
no,
the
that's-
highlighted.
Dirk,
What
Dirk,
about the
read the
activity
highlighted
tracker?
bullet
Dirk, that's the
points.
natural
Read the
progression
highlighted
from
bullet
October to
What
points.
November.
about the
CO2
activity
disbands?
tracker?
Nobody gives a fuck about the
What about
activity
the
tracker. It's not
activity tracker?
It's not retroactive.
No one
Nobody gives a
uses
fuck.
the activity tracker.
Dirk, read
Don't
the
you?
highlighted
Yeah.
Don't you?
bullet
Every time I
points.
jump to a, every
The
time I
fourth
jump to a
star
season,
dies.
Read the highlighted
check your
bullet
jump count?
bullet
Highlighted
points.
bullet points.
and it pops up.
Dirk,
Null
shut
sec
the
blob
fuck
wormhole.
Oh my
up.
God! You made it
Read
to your
the bullet
13th
points.
system.
If you want to read the fucking highlighted bolded bullet points, okay? Jesus shit.
All of a
bud.
sudden, you like. Never mind. I'm just not.
And it spends a year seeding a wormhole.
December,
HK
test deploys the
HK got
Oigen
fucked up.
CO2
No, Dirk, the
disbands
highlighted.
because
the
Goons
highlighted.
got fucking like
The
mad.
highlighted
One
bullet
Somebody-
highlight
what
at a
somebody's
time.
Voice on comms was.
Oh my god, the highlighted, the bold
Sorry,
highlight.
Dirk retires from open comms. Dirk comes back because he's fucking old and has nothing better to do.
Exactly right.
Basically, yeah, like that was
CCP
what
announces Eve
Sorry,
on the road.
JC
That
Denton,
was a
thanks for
joke
the
for
23
2 minutes in the
fucking
making.
months.
I just love the fact that we all said, Dirk, you're coming back. Oh, no.
Well,
I'm not coming back.
he'll be
Oh,
gone
my
next
God.
week.
Fucking Friday night.
There's
As
a
long,
week
hold on,
later.
follow me
Follow
on
me
hold on.
on
Hold
No,
on.
he'll be
I'm
gone
gonna
next week to prove a
straight up
point that
fucking
he's
honest
not
about
back,
how I
and then
fucking
he'll be
say
back
this.
the week
Okay,
after. But
100% about how I fucking say this. Here's the fucking deal. Okay, I'm laying the fucking deal down now.
Okay.
you lay
Another
the
word is
deal
fuck
on the
word.
table.
That
Fuck
was
this
nice.
shit
Deal.
about Eve. I really like lighting sinos and shit like that. If you want me to light sinos for your corp or your fucking alliance or whatever, it's like, I'll totally fucking do it. It's like, but you know what? Honestly, logging in and playing the fucking nullsec warfare part of this fucking game, it's bullshit because of a bunch of things that I would like to talk about in a different fucking forum other than this. However, if my wife wants me to spend Friday nights not actually going out to places that are like, not really fun, but even generally fun, it's like I might actually pop my head in here once in a while. Okay, I want you guys to know.
Are
that,
you
like,
saying you want to
I
join
love
a high
you.
sec corp?
Hold on. And I told you guys this earlier in Skype today that I forgot last week, or I forgot like 2 weeks ago, or whenever it was, like right before I got my fucking surgery. I want to thank you guys out there in fucking Twitch chat. I want to thank all of you for fucking like putting up with my fucking bullshit over the course of the last few years. I want to thank the people on this fucking show, honestly, especially fucking Drayden and like, you know, Rain, who like, I don't know, like, I feel like you also auditioned like back when I was like a total fucking dick and somebody auditioned you and brought you on at the same fucking
No,
time.
you brought
fucking LB the last time I said I was gonna fucking retire. Like Brisk, who just sat there and said, fuck it, you know what? I just want to have a fucking drink and be like, that's the fucking show to have a drink on. It's like, I want to thank you guys, but mainly, I don't know who I want to thank mainly. Like, you guys are my fucking mainly, and then those guys out there are, you know, they're my fucking mainly,
Thank the
like,
fans.
man, the fucking fans. the fucking like people that actually listen to this show and don't hate me, the people that listen to this show and do hate me, honestly, you can seriously suck a fucking dick. like honestly, I'm throwing that down from a fucking Zeus level fucking thunderbolt right into
What's
your
a Deuce
fucking
level
balls.
thunderbolt?
Remember when we
Suck
made
a fucking dick.
$500?
I will literally
Someone
rant
telling
on
Dirk to
this
shut up?
right now about how your mom
Wait, what?
did not love you.
We made
She
$500
didn't.
from a
Don't
guy
even
saying Dirk should
pretend
shut
that
up.
in that fucking
Oh, we did
that?
that.
flowing
Oh yeah,
home
because the
parade,
muting
she
stream.
fucking loved you. That being said,
If you're in
we
chat,
should
and you're
all
like,
we should
"Whoa,
all
who's
be
this
willing to
drunk guy?"
pull back
Get outta here.
and say, but you know what is Christmas?
Yeah,
I
well,
just
no,
can't
no,
believe
Christmas
we
is
made it
over. It's
December.
New Year's now,
New
Dirk.
Year's stream.
It's New Year's now.
Christmas, it's fucking New Year's. Shouldn't we all just fucking love each other? Yes, we should.
I just can't
Yeah.
believe
Yes,
we made
we
it to
should.
December.
Like,
And I
it's
love
the
all
last
of
love
the
you can
fucking
get in
listeners.
2018,
I
so why
wish
not
none
get on
of
it
you
now?
have ever
Coach
bought
over
me
here.
I give Rain credit for keeping us on
wait,
task.
new guy, shut the fuck up. I wish none of you had ever fucking bought me a drink. I wish I had bought you a fucking drink. I
Dirk.
You bought a lot of
all
my
I
drinks,
wish
Dirk.
we ever had a fucking drink
Try
together.
losing.
No, Dirk.
Dirk.
You
All
bought
that being
almost
said,
all my
I
drinks.
wish all of us always have a fucking drink together. Did my wife make me spaghetti and bacon right now? No, she didn't.
Spaghetti and
Dirk.
bacon?
Until the after show.
You haven't thanked yourself yet.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Thank
well,
you,
okay,
sir.
so
Lance
Fucking
over.
hate
Oh,
thank
no,
myself.
hold on,
Myself
Dirk.
Myself is a
Dirk.
Thank
relatively
yourself.
unreasonable person.
Well, no,
who's
no,
always
no,
willing
hold
to,
on.
like,
No,
just be
Dirk, no.
relatively unreasonable.
Now, Dirk, since you're going to be retiring for another week and you'll be back.
I am going to retire for another week, and I'm going to struggle. And if I am here
I know,
next
you'll
week,
be back.
I want you to blame my wife for not just taking me out on a Friday night.
Don't
Sometimes I
no,
like
no
to square
blaming
dance.
the wife.
Okay,
And
okay.
Friday
No blaming
nights
the
are the
wife.
nights
This
I
is
like
all
to
you.
square dance, and I wish my wife
want to square
also liked to
dance?
square dance, but I didn't.
We
like,
can square
marry a
dance on
square
stream,
dance
dude.
girl.
We'll like VR, we'll like Oculus Rift the square dance or some shit. Anyway,
No, I know. Hold on.
is
I
that a
married
thing?
a girl that like doesn't like to square dance, and those are always on Friday nights. And I like to square dance, and like I feel as if she's gonna drag me out on a Saturday night when like the square is different.
No, yeah, it's a
It's like what, a rectangle? Or
it's a
something?
it's a
more
polygon
like a
instead of a
polygon,
square.
And like I still don't have that step down.
But anyway, like now, so Dirk, you're saying like you know
And none of those people
like
even
I
out
don't
there know
like
what,
I
square
think this
dancing means.
show I don't think this show has I mean like it has to thank you for being on it. And I know
Of course
like
it does,
now
because you're all
now
sad.
Yeah, Dirk.
All sad
We got
people
really sad.
should thank good people.
Well,
for
I'm
being
just
there.
Dirk,
saying,
I know
like,
you
it's
don't
like-
remember it, but we all cried watching your memorial
Dirk
video.
cried.
we
I
did,
saw
yeah,
him
we
cry.
went like you
Dude, I
cried.
didn't cry until the
totally
next
saw
fucking
him
round.
cried.
I was fucking wrecked
We
as fuck.
all cried.
I cried when
I
I,
totally
made it,
saw
and
him
here's the
cry.
thing. Here is the thing. The feat of the crying is that people were crying to a Nickelback song.
Dude,
That's
I
never
was trying to read into
That
the
never
whole idea
happened.
of the Nickelback song, and I'm like,
No.
you know what? As
I-
much as I'm not that guy,
I
I
was
will
so
buy it from
like not ready to
because
put
Drayden
that
was
in.
from Idaho.
But
I bought
here-
it from an Idaho
No.
standpoint, not from a Dirk standpoint.
No. Here's the thing. It's like I was like, it's fucking Nickelback, but I was like, the song
What Wolf
is
says.
perfectly suited.
I really
For
liked
what
it
the
for your
message
fucking,
is.
video
I was like-
a couple years ago.
Dirk leaving the show is exactly what the song is made about, and so it
Why
fits
couldn't you throw
better
some
than
Don't
anything
Tread
else,
on
and it
Me out
has
there,
electric
like-
guitar. But at the same time, I was like, it's fucking Nickelback. I'm gonna have to try real
All that
hard
being
on
said,
this.
Nobody needs to fucking kiss me away. If I can't fucking like kill my fucking crack syndrome with this fucking game, it's like whatever. You can expect me to like pop in and like who knows. I may be here fucking next week. I'm not
Every
promising it, but I
week.
may be here fucking next week. I'm
Drayden, just
not
put him back
saying
on the
it's gonna
fucking
happen,
amp opening.
but
No, I can't.
I may be
I'll
here
have
for
two
months
separate openings.
there's a
One
part
for
of me
when
that
he's here,
actually
one
wants
for when
to
he's not.
disappear from this kind of shit. All that being fucking
Just
said,
put him back on the opening.
Which I deleted the one
Here
he was
what
in
I-
it.
Here's what I
So I
need
have to
you guys
remake
to do.
it now.
Here's what I need you guys to do. I need
for
you to
the
help my
Viper.
motherfucker out there, my motherfucking Garrett, or like Big Dad out there right now. Okay, who's just trying to make a thing of Eve because he's the only one person from that sliver of fucking life that I know to be actual fucking life where people actually exist, like to play this fucking game. If you want to help him out, do it. If you want to throw to my GoFundMe, which will not actually build a wall between me and Eve Online, it's like throw to
Well,
my GoFundMe.
if you put
If you
it
wanna
in
do a
my
shot
GoFundMe,
and
I'll
throw
put a war
GoFundMe,
between
that would
Dirk
be
and
extra
Eve.
special.
after I buy myself all the things I want. But
and if you want to help Rain comb her hair on an open comms night, that would be fucking good too.
Makeup tutorial.
Can we not
Rain, makeup tutorial.
Can we not expect a little something?
Look how nice my hair looks
it's
with me
slick,
putting
bud.
it up blind.
Sexual harassment lawsuit incoming.
Just a little something.
Easy.
all right, Dirk's in the corner. Dirk, you're muted and you're shoved off. No, you're not. But
How much? You
get your warning.
Do we want to talk about what happened to Try before we send off, and we can do a shot?
Oh yeah,
to
we
Try?
didn't even talk about the Try Titans dying.
Shot to
Try, move
Try.
up.
Shot to.
Shot
Well,
to
why
Try.
are we doing a shot to Try?
Shield Dream, dude.
Go
Where'd my
bye-bye.
shot glass
Shield
go?
Dream.
Okay, so hold on. Let me find. Oh, did I close them all? I did. I made. Oh,
So
wait.
I get props to Try for that Shield Dream that I cried. I actually said, "Oh man, that sucks."
Oh no! Here we go.
Cried
Okay.
IRL?
I did. I was like, "Wow!" I actually said that was like the dream, like rags and hells just for days. I mean, fuck.
It was great.
Okay,
Found
so
my
I
set
made
right.
a I made a fixed. So in chat, I put a fixed battle report because the one with the art, the Iron and
Nova
art.
fucking Valentis in chat.
It's been in chat for a while.
All right, so the
hold on,
the
but that-
well, hold on.
That's a different.
The
yes, I can explain it. It's because they want to be their own man.
the
They want to grow their own balls.
the battle report for the Iron In article of the Try fight where they lost all the Titans is
Are we doing a shot?
Yeah, we'll do a shot. It's inaccurate in the fact that they put Goon Swarm on the the PanFam side and all them, and the Try side, but honestly, it
Is it
really.
everyone shooting Try, or were people actually helping?
Well, so the battle report I put up shifts goons to the proper side, but realistically, it really doesn't do much because there's it's only about a 2 billion-ish difference between sides because Goonstorm only lost like 2 Hictors, a Jackdaw, and then a handful of like bombers and interceptors. So like the ISK value doesn't matter much, but I did fix it. So
Did we get into December?
shots.
This is
We
December.
already did
Dirk,
December, Dirk.
What about
You
Fort Knox?
read December.
What
We
about
did not
Fort
talk
Knox?
about Fort Knox. We had a whole show about that.
We had a whole show about it, and
Okay.
plus, if you
All
want
right.
to talk about
And-
Fortnite,
and
you
I'm
should
gonna
talk
be
about all
straight
the
up
memes
honest.
about me
I'm
about
gonna be
Fortnite.
straight up honest about how you guys had a fucking whole show about Fort Knox.
Fort Knox was
Look,
good.
look.
Dirk,
look.
you were.
No,
you
we
were
didn't.
Are
You were on that
serious?
We didn't
I
do
was
all
on
Fort
the
Knox.
show. I laughed about it.
We did some Operation Permafrost.
Do you guys remember back in the day when we said Fort Knox will never fall?
Yeah, it fell.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And it
Does
fell.
that mean can
You know what I
you-
remember about Fort
You know
Knox?
what? You know what?
I remember
I'm
Britt
doing a
saying,
shot
"I
right
want
now
out of this fucking shit."
For my big motherfucking friend out there, the Noob Man.
Noob Man.
When you were the giant Noob Man, Fort Knox never
Wait, we
would
do
have
another
fell.
shot?
Do I have to do a
Shot,
shot and then like a swig off the fucking bottle?
I
We're
mean,
gonna
like,
have to
well,
do
I
that.
don't have time
Come
to
on,
pour
I
a
need more
shot.
pickles.
Are we doing this?
The fact of the matter
Oh,
is that
Drayden, look at the bottle.
Back when Noob Man was a fucking real man, Fort Knox never would have fucking fell. But
No,
you know
but-
what? It did now because of sad face fucking
With
hard knocks.
the fall of
motherfuckers
great men
that
caught-
didn't know how to fucking deal with what happened when fucking Noob Man.
No,
left.
I gotta
Look,
be
it's
honest.
not their fault.
It
They
fell,
only have
dude, because
7
of a lot
members.
of planning and a lot of time.
By the way, there was that shot.
The fall of
Here,
great
I'll
men comes with the fall of great structures.
Look,
Now we
it's
send
not,
off with
it's
the
not,
later bitches.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
HB's
I was just
fault.
like, do we do later
All that
bitches
being
now
said,
and then go
whatever
on after
is
show
coming
later?
After us, it's like later bitches. We're out.
Because, man, I really gotta hit the
I
head.
personally love you.
Me too.
I actually love you, listeners.
Big
because
time.
God.
I just fucking.
But
Good night, everybody.
Okay, so we'll
I
do
want
the
Drayden
we'll
to
do
keep
the.
on
Welcome
show.
back,
I
Dirk.
want
We
him to
missed
like
you.
know that I'm
Oh,
just
yes.
trying
the
to
open
fucking.
Welcome back, Dirk. And I like the fact
No,
that
I
My
just
Dirk's
want
still here.
Drayden. I'm just asking you, brother, please, like this show is like heroin. These fucking listeners are like fucking heroin. I want like it's not like methadone, which is like crazy
well,
ass.
yeah,
drug drug.
methadone would be
Okay,
like
but
talking to stations, right? The not.
Dude, have I been on there?
The-
I've not been on there. I wouldn't
No,
even
but
fucking
you
call
go
back
there
I wouldn't
sometimes.
even call
You
back
go-
there. Let those people get like what they think they need.
You go there sometimes for a reprieve, but this
No,
shows
I
your
know,
fix,
I do
right?
that. I
Like
do
so,
that
it's
sometimes.
it's like
I do
the
that sometimes to get my common sense across, but now I feel as though I can get my common sense across right now because my common sense is all about like what you people believe.
My common sense.
I'm just saying, like, I think it's funny that you're like, I'm quitting I'm quitting forever. Maybe I'll be back, and then you are gone for a week, and then you come back, you're like, I'm back, and I'll be back occasionally. And then
good night, everybody.
I don't have the gray breast.
All right.
Take that back.
We got a call. Okay, we'll be on the after show later, bitches.
Wait, did you tell about our
I
New
just
Year's
want
show?
Good night, everybody.
We're doing a New Year's show on Drayden's stream.
Yeah, okay, so we
Drayden's stream.
Wait, so last week we did mention it, but we'll do it again. New Year's Eve.
You mentioned it last week. Like,
wait, are we doing a New Year's stream? Are you
Move
doing a New Year's stream?
Yeah,
on Drayden's
so New Year's Eve, that night we're doing.
Oh shit, New Year's Eve. Totally pimped that out.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way,
Dirk,
we're not doing anything.
We're not doing that here.
No. Okay, so New Year's Eve, we are doing a show. It's gonna be Dirk and I think Rain's coming. Brisk, you coming?
Rain's coming. Brisk's like.
Okay, so it's. I think Dirk and Rain are definitely confirmed going, and then various other people will probably show up. Iron Wolf, are you going? Okay, so Iron Wolf goes. So anyway, we're gonna do a thing. It's gonna be on my channel.
A show that had more people in the comms than were out in the actual fucking.
That's the goal. We're gonna have like 20 people on comms, 10 people watching.
Can we actually do a world record of that?
Well, no, hold on. You have to take into account. So if there's 20 people watching, or 20 people on comms, 30 people watching, 20 of those 30 are the people on comms. So that only means 10 people are watching. So we will still, like, you have to take into that ratio. But anyway, we're going to do it on my channel because INN does not want any of our drunken shenanigans. Because we're
What do you mean? They don't want us?
They like us drunk when we're talking about Eve. But if we're not talking about Eve, we're just...
Why can't INN let us stream? We know Matterall.
Way out of line.
Drayden, tell them we know Matterall.
We do know Matterall, and maybe Matterall will come. But the thing is, like...
I think
INN is fine with it. Well, hold on. INN is fine with us getting drunk and talking about Eve on their channel with the show, but if we're not gonna
fucking Matterall's channel, but you're sitting there going, but what will Drayden do on fucking New Year's? Save your money. It'll be that night.
But I'm just like honestly. So INN,
I'm literally gonna whip a dick out.
He might, and like my channel is.
I'm not saying right during.
Rain, I don't think you want to watch that.
My channel's obscure enough that could happen and get by the mods. So,
Rain is also going to whip a dick out.
Gross. Can we send Rain a strap on?
Yeah.
Open comm
strap on, flake and shit like that.
We should get the open comm strap on.
And like go to the bathroom.
I won't get banned, Dominic, unless your ass reports. If I get banned, Dominic, it's because I know you reported me. But anyway, so we're gonna do a New Year's Eve stream on my channel. You can right click on a name, go there. Honestly, I'll just link it in chat if you want, and then you can bookmark it.
Weren't you Q?
So we're gonna get drunk. And the thing is, like, it's not gonna be an Eve stream. We might
Does
throw.
Q work both ways?
Hold on, we might throw some Eve in there, here and there. But the thing is, like, it's just
work both ways.
Yes, it does.
Like, are you Q from the other side, sitting there going, "Aren't you with us?" And the other side going,
"Wait,
I don't know what you're talking about." But
I think that
anyway, we gotta go.
We should all brisk it up.
Be there. I'll send a tweet out. Be on my channel.